everyone, and welcome to Eternal Mooncast, the streaming show all about Sailor Moon fan theories. We cover everything from the prominent to the obscure in the Mooniverse. We're your co-hosts, Michi and
Celine. But first, a quick Moony disclaimer. We would like to remind everyone that these are just our personal opinions. We do not in any way represent Toei or the Sailor Moon intellectual property. Tonight, we delve into Sailor Starlight special with our special returning guest. Rizuki is a cosplayer from New York who's been in the cosplay scene for over a decade now, while also being a fan of Sailor Moon since 1995. Congratulations, same.
Welcome, Tartar.
Welcome to the Sailor Moon Hag Club. I appreciate it. I'm not alone.
Good.
Thank you. Thank you for making sure I'm not alone. Because people are like, 1995? Holy crap. And I'm like, I'm going to need you to sit down, child. I've been in the trenches. Rizuki is also known for Sailor Moon cosplays and for hosting and co-hosting the Sailor Moon meetups at various conventions. Warm, Moony welcome to Rizuki. Hey.
Me.
People are like, oh my God, 1985. I'm like, I'm going to shut up. Okay. I was up at 5 o'clock in the morning watching Sailor Moon in Florida on UPN.
The first comment I always get is always, oh, I wasn't even born yet. And I'm like, thanks.
Thanks.
No.
Thanks so much.
Celine thawed. Celine left the chat.
I'm going to need those children to sit down.
No, Rizuki, we just did an episode with Ochiba Wolf, and Celine had to be on best behavior because that is not like our normal show.
Yeah.
We're a preschool toys present.
Good.
Okay.
That
I want you all to know I behaved. There's proof to watch the episode. Go watch it on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, Eternal Mooncast at YouTube. Quarks.
Tonight is a very special topic that I know is near and dear to Rizuki's heart. And we're going to do a special on the Sailor Starlights.
Yeah.
Now, we did do an episode already on Seiya, but we're still going to touch on some Seiya stuff. But we did do an episode already with the lovely The Last Black Moon, who did an epic job teaching us about some Japanese customs.
Things that were in the episodes that we were like, wait, what? Just things like we wouldn't know because we're not part of the culture.
That was really fun. But tonight, I am excited. I know Rizuki has a dissertation ready on why the Sailor Starlights just deserve better.
The list just thunked on the ground, rolled out the door.
It's still going.
It's still going. And we got the SpongeBob voice 10 years later. We're still here listening to the dissertation. It's fine.
Basically.
Oh, but let's go ahead and get started by quickly recapping who each of the Starlights are. Because I feel like people tend to always have a favorite Starlight, and usually it's Seiya.
Kitty. Sorry. I was
Black.
distracted by Kakyuu.
Oh, he's going to be a distraction all night.
But you're so right. Like, usually, like when the Starlights come up in conversation when I'm talking to people or if I'm dressed up as one of them or something, Seiya's usually 8 or 9 times out of 10 that person's favorite Starlight of the 3. Yeah. You're not like,
Yeah, and oh my God, Loki coming in. They either have a favorite Seiya or a hated Taiki. Yaten is forgotten, except for by Michiru fans, because we're still mad.
I'm going to change that.
Yaten's so near to so many people's hearts, and I want,
Because, and I mean that not in a derogatory manner. Yaten serves, and I would like to serve as much as he does.
That's actually back in 98, 99 when I first was introduced to the Starlights. The reason I started role-playing her on America Online and the reason I started cosplaying, like my second cosplay ever was Yaten. And the reason being is literally because, wow, if people bullied her, she would be such a bitch. She is so sassy. She doesn't give a and I want to be that. That has not changed in 26 years. I love her so much. I love her. So my queen, the queen of my heart, the queen of my soul, Yaten's my favorite.
Okay, so just to recap for those who haven't seen Sailor Moon.
There is Seiya, the black-haired one that everyone thinks of first. She's Sailor Starfighter. That's the one that's like Usagi, Odango. And there was like love, but not love, but I don't know, but we'll talk about it. So there was that one. She's very cool, competitive. I think I'm the best. And then when the transformation into fighter comes, that she does a 180 and goes straight into leader mode, which we'll talk about. Then there's Yaten, who's Sailor Star Healer. she's a bitch and we love her for it. She doesn't care what you think about her. She will not sweat. She will sleep all day. She loves photography and keyboards, baby, keyboards. But she is in love with art and music, and she is just a fine art babe. We just love her. We love her. And then there's Taiki, who I'm going to be honest, Taiki, Sailor Star Maker. In the very beginning, I was not nice to Taiki. For about, of the 26 years I've known the Starlights, I would say a good 16 of them, I referred to Taiki as Forehead Chan, as 747 head.
His 16 inches was his fucking forehead.
Now I have the forehead, so I cannot. Don't talk about Taiki. Taiki will curse you. So just be careful in the chat, because look what happened to me. So
Yeah.
But Taiki is our lyricist, our poet, our intellectual savant who likes to read and into science and into literature and all of that stuff, but also hates all of you and wants you to die and really doesn't care if you die, but then has a heart later, which we'll discuss. Dylan.
So I'll TLDR that. So Seiya, boy, okay? But also the mask lesbian. That's your mask lesbian. Yaten, affectionately. Femme lesbian. Okay? Taiki ain't getting no ass.
There.
That's what
None
you
at
need to
all?
know. None. I'm sorry. That forehead does not. No.
Be
No.
careful.
No. Listen. Naoko did Taiki dirty, okay? Although it's funny because Taiki doesn't have as big of a forehead in the manga as
Just the anime.
No.
the anime.
The
So-
90s anime. The 90s anime did everyone dirty. Everyone. Every single character was done dirty in the 90s anime.
We could do an entire episode just on who got done dirty, because it could be at least 7 hours.
Oh my God. Easy.
Start episode by episode, Jedi goes out. Here's the thing. If Kunzite had gotten as much leeway and chances as Jedi got, he could have easily won the first round. The first round. Kunzite was so competent, and yet he got nothing but shit from Beryl because of her boy toy.
So I'm going to take it there. So the 747 took off from Taiki's forehead and kept going and then ran Jedi over.
Yes. Exactly.
I already have the forehead. I can't get any more. I can't get much worse. So Taiki can't curse me anymore. It's okay. And I love finance. It's fine. Well, how do you feel in here?
We have so much, but Taiki's so easy to want to hate. It's so easy. The arrogant assholeness. It's the superiority nose in the air for me. That is no.
But also just Taiki wasn't as fleshed out even in the manga. And Seiya got the most, of course, but even Yaten got a little bit more even in the manga than Taiki. And then the anime, forget it. Taiki's just the fucking forehead standing in the background, being used as lighting for the rest of the show.
Let me introduce you to the Sailor Moon musicals, which is where I fell in love with Taiki.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Watch the musicals. There are links. Talk to me later. Oh, watch musicals. So also on YouTube, if you type in Sarah Miyu, Sailor Stars, or Ian Densetsu, or the Final First Stage, every single one of them are on YouTube. In our old school way of like multi-parts. So like you have to break through 14 different parts, but it's all there.
Perfect.
With subtitles. High key. That Taiki is
The only way to watch YouTube, to be honest.
Right? 14 parts in
14 parts in, what was it? 450 or whatever it was.
It was like 260. You could barely see the animation. The subtitles were clear, but that's about it. And the audio was shit.
You're going to go back to 2005 when you see those 14 parts, but
Fantastic. That's what I need. I'd like to go back to 2005. Maybe. No. Let's go back to 1995.
See, you guys say that, but I watched the entirety of Utena not that long ago via YouTube through parts.
That's how I watched Dirty Pair, through parts on YouTube. Because it's not on any streaming platform.
Oh my God.
That sucks.
That's so funny. That's our childhoods. We love it.
We'll accept it. And I will talk about this later, but I'm just going to plant the seed in everyone's head to think about as we discuss. I high-key believe Seiya and Mamoru would be besties.
Yeah.
I really genuinely think they'd be besties. I think they'd
Manga.
be besties.
Mamoru.
I think they'd be besties in the anime. I think, and this is something we'll chat about. We'll get there. But I genuinely think they'd be friends. They might be competitive friends. They might be like that friend that's just like, I want to kick your ass, but, oh, hey, let's go get burgers. It's like that kind of friend. I genuinely think they'd be friends.
Oh, hey, let's kiss the same girl. That's fine.
Usagi
here
might
for a
go through like
polycule,
a
let's
conflicting
go.
moment of them hanging out, but let's, hey, go for it, girl. I don't know.
In this
Right?
economy, monogamy, no. Polycule all the way. The only way you can afford rent.
Oh my god, no, ships we will get into because I even have some hate ships that I've heard that I want to discuss. Yes, but let's talk about a theory that Rizuki brought to me that I think it's very interesting and Celine's going to have opinions on.
I have opinions on everything.
I know, that's why I love you. But could the events of Sailor Stars have been happening during Supers and it was being masked by Queen Helena? You know how the Starlights are already there? They're already popular. They're already a band that has been established and has a fan base. That means that it had to have taken place before we saw them and before we interacted with them.
But weren't they a new band?
No.
They were new, but not that new. They weren't brand. They were new. They were around long enough to have a fan club, to have piles and piles, manga and anime, of people at the airport when Usagi saying goodbye to Mamoru. There was hundreds of fangirls at the airport. They already have those songs on the radio. So I'm not saying this happened months and months ago, but I'm saying at some point in Supers, Galaxia was attacking Kinoku because it doesn't make sense that she would have attacked them and then they just appeared and were popular within 24 hours. It would happen like that now with social media and everything. But if you think back to 1996, it's not how that worked.
I
You didn't do
agree.
anything. I could agree that she was probably attacking, but they didn't appear till after Nehelenia because they snuck in probably through the meteors. Because otherwise Neptune and Uranus would have picked them up coming into the solar system. Because they were scouts.
Potentially. But they might have also been completely distracted over the fact that, hey, Mamo-chan just went through a mirror. Oh, hey, our prince and princess are dying. Oh my God, so much is happening. Oh my God, why is everyone dying? Oh my God, like there was just so much happening. It is very possible that they missed it during all of that.
Yeah, which I could see because that whole time space was like a clusterfuck.
We also don't know how many months between Nehelenia and him leaving on the plane was.
We don't. The thing is, in the anime, the first episode of Sailor Stars is 167. And that is when Chibiusa's leaving. And it's their first day in high school. Timeline's different in the manga. So first day in high school, they were still, worrying about the high school entrance exam and all of that stuff in Supers. So then when we get to Nehelenia coming back, they're already in high school now. Chibiusa's getting ready to leave now. But we don't have an exact, it's been like 6 months or something. We just know that, okay, in Japan, school starts in March. They're just starting high school, so now it's March. That's as far as we've got. And we know it's the year 1996. But somewhere during this time frame, in my opinion, this is not fact. This is not out there.
That's what this show is all for, is your theories. Bring us them.
Yeah, I just personally think that at some point in Supers, whether it's in the middle, toward the end, that's when Galaxia was attacking Kinoku. That's when they showed up on Earth and were like, okay, we need a plan, and we need a plan fast because we are running on borrowed time while Sailor Moon and them are not having a good time.
No, and you know what's interesting? And when we talked about this, 100% the idea to be idols was Seiya's idea.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. 1000%. Because I think, as much as I love Seiya, the lights aren't all on there. It's just excitement and me.
Because Seiya has ADHD.
So I think
You're
that
wrong.
when discussing, okay, how can we get her? How can we get her opinion? How can we, not her opinion, how can we get her to appear? How can we find her? I think Seiya was like, I've got a great idea. I don't know if, did they put the radio on? Were they watching TV? Were they trying to figure out while getting acclimated to this new Earth, like to the apartment that they magically had suddenly? Like how, I just think Seiya was like, dude, we're going to be idols. We're going to sing. It'll be everywhere. It's going to be great. Don't look at me, Yaten. And then what we'll do is, stop talking, Yaten. What we'll do is we'll tour.
Bitch, don't judge me.
And I think that's genuinely how it went.
Yaten protesting the entire time.
Taiki's, I hate you and I hate this idea, but it's actually stupid enough that it might work.
See, in my lovely little headcanon, Seiya was going after a human girl because they had just gotten there and he's, holy shit, everybody's hot. And then went after somebody and then she shut him down. And then she went immediately to an idol fan, like one of those airport scenes or something. And that's when he was like,
That's how we
That
get bitches.
That sounds great.
I get bitches. And then also
That's
search for the princess, but get bitches.
Maybe if I'm a princess, I'd want to get laid also to forget everything. So, fair enough, say. I see you.
Valid. I'm not even mad at it.
Yeah.
No,
I
what's
already
pretty
don't
mad
see
is
that.
Venus.
Wow.
Because Venus saw her princess die and they got her ass in gear.
Venus didn't have time to go get laid. Okay.
If
I
she
mean-
could have, she would have.
Venus is also the one that tried taking Taiki and Yaten to go see Adults Love XX.
The kid needs therapy.
Just saying, Mina's gone through it, and she was going to take everyone through it with her.
Stan a queen who looked at the starlight and said, not one, all, like all three.
I want
What?
get two free.
Yes. They all need therapy. Agreed.
Agreed.
Queenly cosplay. This is definitely a therapy kind of episode.
Honestly, all of us need therapy. We're analyzing Sailor Moon. You don't think I need therapy? You don't think I go to therapy once a month? I do. This is a coping mechanism, people.
But I just thought it was a really cool theory that Rizuki brought of thinking about like when they were doing the final battle with Queen Nihilego that the Starlights might have been walking around or something.
Trying to figure it all out. And where
I mean,
is
they
it?
could have snuck in then because everybody was dead.
Everyone's dead, dying in a mirror, going through it.
They weren't even on our plane of existence, so that would make sense. They weren't, though. They were in another dimension.
They were. And the Comfy Witch brings up a good point, because Naoko Takeuchi's infamous for time resets, but that's the whole reason why we're here. Because I feel like we all as fans, not just the three of us, but like everyone in the chat, everyone is a Sailor Moon fan, period. I feel like we've thought about and analyzed Sailor Moon more than Naoko Takeuchi did.
Oh, by far.
And not in any shade kind of way, but it's just, let's have a podcast. And for 3 hours, we're going to talk.
But the fact is, we can talk for 3 hours. And like, I had to rein us in when it was a lot less here.
I was like, I'll have more. And you were like, wait.
No, especially for that review episode. I was like, I love all 5 of you. Stop.
But it's true.
Naoko is famous for not tying up loose ends. You're like, ma'am, that doesn't make fucking sense. Too bad it's in the manga now.
Wait. And Stars is my favorite arc, but that Cosmos, I'm happy that cleared up some things that really pissed me off about the manga. Because the Stars manga, again, as much as I love Stars, I will talk shit about the Stars manga every day forever because I'm just like, okay, I know you were rushed. I know you wanted to end it. I know you wanted to end it after the first season. However, you're killing me.
No, the movies were a godsend because they did let us know a lot more than we knew.
Yes.
Yes. And then real quick, just to answer Loki asked, I'm probably the last person to know this, but the entire series, classic through Stars, takes place over 2 fucking years. Yes,
Yep.
you're right.
Yep.
It includes
Damn. That was a rough 2 years.
like it's 200 episodes in 2 years. That's a lot to go through.
365 days in the year.
Yeah, and apparently
Every week.
Usagi gets like 1 down day and then the end of the world blows up every other day.
Honestly, my husband and I have been like binging Sailor Moon on Pluto TV, and I've been into Sailor Moon since '95. But it's now in 2024 that I'm just like, so wait, let me understand. You at 14 were bothering this guy, flirting with him, but not, and then you found out that you were lovers 1,000 years ago, and then he dies, and then you die, and then you come back, and then you don't have your memories, and then he doesn't have his memory, but then he gets it back, and then suddenly your kid lands on you and then points a gun at you, and then all of this stuff with your kid, and then supers, stars, this poor child in 2 years. Did you ever have just like a month where you could just date the guy that you've known for 1,000 years? Just date him. Just date him.
You even forgot about the elementary siblings. Yeah, he got on an airplane and left. And then I'm like, and right now at Bishojo Senshi Slumber Party, which is Eternal Mooncast sister program, we're rewatching the Tree of Doom arc.
Oh my God.
Doom arc is so silly. It is.
But
Sorry, I
it's
didn't mean to
hard.
derail us, but
No. It's things you don't notice, even if you've been into it for so long. Like they were saying, like, there's things out there that's just, wait a minute, how did I not notice that before?
you know who would be friends? And Alan from the Tree of Doom arc and Seiya.
Yeah.
They would get along so well.
Because they both wanted Usagi?
No, because they both were like chasing, they were like, think about it. Alan was like the cool guy who played the flute, who was aloof, and then Seiya was the cool guy who played football and was aloof. They got the cool guy mysterious stuff going on. I can see it. I'm just saying, I just think it would be funny. I'd love to see them in their room together.
I can see it.
Okay, so then moving on. Do we want to talk about why Taiki and Yaten were dicks in this series?
Yes.
Okay, Rizuki, I know you got a feeling, so you start us on this one.
Okay. So everybody hear me out, because I know a lot of people don't like them, but especially don't like Taiki. And I didn't either, hence why I have bangs now. So I'm going to break it down. Now, again, a lot of this is just inferring and also opinion, but a lot of this was also said in their image songs, in their prologues, and throughout episodes. That was my preface. Anyway, here we go. So Taiki and Yaten, they come to Earth, and they don't know Earth at all. Neither does Seiya, but Seiya's just, we're going to put Seiya over there. Have a great time. Anyway, they're on Earth. They're not happy about it. They can't find their princess. In episode 173, when we're first introduced to the Starlights, and I forget, Alice, the actress that turned into the monster of the day, she is all like disoriented and doing whatever, and then the Starlights attack her. And then Fighter and Maker go to attack her a second time, and Sailor Moon steps in the way and says, "Don't, oh my God." And they say, "It's too late. You can't save her." And Fighter specifically says, "There's only one person that can. Get out of the way." Which kind of implies that only Kakyuu was able to change the stars monsters of the day back into people once their star seeds were taken. I want to say it's episode 188, but when Seiya's explaining the past to Usagi on the Ferris wheel, Seiya's going through everything that happened and images of fire and the Starlights shooting people, killing people after Galaxia's done her thing. Taiki, Yaten, and Seiya have had to kill people before. On Kinnoku, on Earth, hopefully not, but I don't know. So they've had to kill people before when Galaxia came and Kakyuu was gone, because they can't transform them back. They can't do anything. That's why I think it was such a what I thought when Sailor Moon was actually able to save people again, because it's something that only their princess can do. So that's the first thing. They've had to kill people before, probably their friends, their acquaintances, their partners, people that were in, I don't know, with Princess Kakyuu with them, whatever it is, people, the family. They've left all of that. Everyone's dead. Everyone's gone. Everything they grew up with is completely gone. New planet. Can't find the princess. Can't save people. Had to kill people. Now, okay, we're going through all of this. Can't find the princess. Singing to a bunch of people. So many people are in love with us, but they don't know us. They don't know who we are. They don't understand us. They just are in love with what we look like. And that's just, you don't know me at all. That's weird. I don't like that. Seiya does, but it's, again, Seiya's over there. So that's another thing. And then they end up having the situation with, okay, so now Seiya is clearly in love with this meatball-headed girl, Fabulous. You're distracting from the mission. You're distracting from why we're here. We're here specifically to find our princess because we're running out of time, because she's already destroyed our planet and every other planet. This is her last planet. This is it. So now they have that to worry about. In the episode where Taiki is... Usagi and Ami bring Taiki over to a hospital where a child is going through a surgery that's coming up and she's terrified about it. Taiki actually gives up, gets punched in the face by Seiya. Seiya's like, "What's going on? Why don't you want to do this?" Taiki doesn't want to even perform anymore. Taiki's done. Taiki is done with Yaten, is done with Seiya, is done with singing, can't find the princess. Over it. Done. And it's this little girl who was able to draw Kakyuu from listening to those songs and having a visual of her that makes Taiki remember, wait, if this little girl is hearing our message, now Princess is definitely hearing our message, but it's weighing on them. So all of that's happening. Then you get the episode where we're on the plane and we now know everybody's true identities. Great time on the plane. That went really well for everybody. And now, okay, all of these girls that we were friends with are also Sailor Guardians. And yet, why are you guys not freaking out that Galaxia is here, freaking out about all of these other Sailor Senshi? Do you not realize what's happening? How are you guys doing all of these extra things and having so much fun? Don't you know you're about to die?
Because it's a regular day for them. That's a regular Friday night.
It was Friday night for them.
That's a regular Friday night, homies.
Just a regular day. Everything's great. And Taiki and Yaten just do not understand this. Then 2 episodes later, maybe that was a day later, maybe that was 3 days later, who knows? What is time? But 2 episodes later, Seiya gets hurt protecting Sailor Moon. And now Taiki and Yaten are pissed. Because now you have this pile that I've been saying. And now their leader, who's been completely distracted by Sailor Moon and Usagi, who great, it's the same person. I love that for me. Now they're completely hurt and bleeding on the ground. This is great. Love that. And they're pissed at the people they thought were friends, who they think made their friend get hurt because you guys aren't taking this seriously. You guys aren't paying attention. There's just so much being piled on that they're taking it out on literally everyone, including each other and Seiya. Not to say that, hey, maybe let's not be complete assholes to everybody we interact with, maybe, just maybe. But taking a step back, in my opinion, that's why they were complete and utter douchebags for the majority of the Sailor Stars 90s anime. Because there was just so much just piling on that just never got better. And then Kakyuu came, and then Kakyuu died, and then Galaxia took over, and everything went really great from there. Everything was swell.
That's my off.
To go off of what you said for them, there's another thing why the scouts are like that. They've been going through it since a while because chaos has always been around them because of Usagi. It's a good point because for them, that war that happened on their planet was more than likely super fucking peaceful. It has never experienced this the inner senshi and the outer senshi. Like they've been at war. Freaking Saturn ended all of them and they got reborn. So there's that difference where they don't understand it because they're
used
to peace, where the scouts are used to war.
Exactly.
They're used to fighting. They're used to being scouts. They've died. They have all those memories of dying where
multiple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seiya and Yaten and Taiki, they haven't been reborn. This is their first life. They were living a peaceful life. And then Galaxia comes in and fucking wrecks their shit.
The Fire
and
Nation.
Then they know killing and war. And these are young women who have never known that. And killing people does something and it hardens you. And I honestly believe that they were killing people on Earth, that these are just going to be missing people.
Yeah.
To play off the whole, I don't think Kakyuu was the one to be able to save. This is just my little brainworm. Maybe she was able to do it on their planet because those were her people, or she spoke about the light of hope to them. And because I don't like the thing is Kakyuu mentions, because they mention the light of hope themselves. I'm like, how? This is, like I said, Naoko, I'm like, Naoko, please stop it. You're not making shit make sense. Because I'm like, how did they know about Cosmos? This light of hope, like, where did that come in? How far did Cosmos actually go to have her story spread with this hope? So I think that possibly either Kakyuu was able to heal her people, or they're going off the stories that Kakyuu gave them because she was witnessing it happening. And she's the only way this can be fixed is if we find the light of hope. We'll heal these people. Because that's why they were like, no, we haven't found it. That's why they're not going to be able to be saved. Because they do say that, like, when Usagi heals it, they're all like,
yeah. Wait a second. How is that even? And I think that in that episode 173, I think that's the beginning of Seiya not being able to differentiate between Kakyuu and Usagi for a while. Because that starts getting worse and worse as the season progresses. But I think it started there. Because their faces, I can see it in my head clearly. Their faces when she's healing them, They were just like, what?
Yeah.
Shook. PTSD clings to something that they are familiar with because she's a princess, and that's
Exactly.
fair.
And you bring up a great point because the inners and outers are used to this, from the Silver Millennium to Beryl to Death Phantom to Mistress Nine and all of that, blah, blah, blah. The Starlights, they're the same age. They're 15, 16. All of these girls, aside from the outers, they're 15, 16. And for the Starlights, that this is their first welcome to hell at 15, 16.
Yeah.
That's... And I'd be a bitch too. So I think that's a really great point that Celine makes. Absolutely. I think it could go either way, or it could go both. And Chand, I know you're in the chat. Write that down as a plot bunny. We have to talk about that later. I like that, Celine.
Celine is like, that's what I'm here for.
I like that. I like it.
It's the autism. You're talking, I was like, that sounds like PTSD. Let's see. Hold on.
I fully believe that the three of them have it, but Taiki and Yaten more. And I talked to Michi about this yesterday, and I think this is later on, so I'm not going to dive fully into it because it's not the topic at hand. I think it hits Seiya too, and it comes to a head in episode 194 on that rooftop. We'll get into that later.
You want to just write them off as bitches, but they're really not. I love them so much.
I love them. I love them.
Shakes the bars of your cage.
Now, and this is anything else on that topic before I take us on somewhere new.
Just don't talk about Taiki because she'll give you her forehead. And I love Yaten. It's okay. She can be a bitch to me every day. Continue.
One thing I wanted to talk about that is not on our outline, but I think this is a good segue, is I actually had a really hard time connecting with the Starlights at first. Especially like my first 4 years cosplaying, I didn't really know them because I had read the manga, but I read the manga back in high school. So that was many a chapter ago. And I like knew that they were part of Sailor Moon, but I couldn't remember who they were. And so then like when everything was coming out, I think it was the musicals were coming out, and then I know somebody once had the Starlights playing and I couldn't connect with them as much. And it was now through the cosplay community and through my friends, and especially through seeing the Cosmos movie and the stars being dubbed, that I've been able to connect better with them. And that I really have come to love all three.
That's so valid. I've heard so many people say similar things because they either haven't seen it or weren't able to, or they were, but they didn't connect the same way that they did with the inners or the outers, say.
Yeah, I don't know if it was because they were only there for one season or because it was the finale, so there was a whole hell of a lot going on, or if I just didn't give them enough of a chance. But I'm really glad that I went back and really got to know them.
Connect with everybody. It might just, their personalities aren't the same, where the way you connect with Michiru.
Yeah.
And the way I connect with Usagi. I don't really connect with anybody else in Sailor Moon. I understand them as people, but my connection is fully Usagi because I'm the firstborn daughter in a Hispanic family. So everything got put on my shoulders. And I'm a crybaby. So that's why I had such a deep connection. You not getting a connection with the Starlights that's perfectly normal.
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't have the same aspects of what you'd connect with like you do with Michiru.
Yeah.
Or even Haruka, because I don't know if you connect with Haruka.
I connect with Haruka in a very special way. Yeah.
It's just
I would like to connect my face to Haruka's, but
That's a subject for another time, my friend. It's fading.
Well, and I think, Michi, I think you're the one that mentioned it before. Seiya was the most, in the anime, the most fleshed out. Yaten a little bit more, Taiki much less. So they didn't have the personalities and everything that everybody else got in the anime. And then, like Chand mentioned, the manga was even worse. So if your first introduction was the manga, you got like maybe 2.4 seconds of them to like connect to, which is nowhere near what you got with Michiru or with Haruka and her face.
Exactly. And and actually, you know what? That's a great comment. Let's go ahead and read that out. They say, I feel like if you're introduced to them via the manga, it's hard to get attached to them because of how fast paced it was. Whereas in the anime, you get glimpses of their personality. And see, because I'm a dub person usually, I love the dubs. I love all dubs. but especially the Sailor Moon dub, because the stars never did get dubbed, I did have that childhood memory of them. Then again, Lord knows if we had gotten a dub, what it would have looked like.
What that would have looked. Yeah. For me, my childhood is very much Sailor Stars. Oh, hey, what up? Because, so backstory. I started Sailor Moon, like Celine mentioned earlier, 5 a.m. on UPN, the Deke dub of Classic. Then we skipped ahead and I was watching the Doomtree arc on Cartoon Network Toonami. Again, all Deke dub. And then while the Lost episodes were playing, my mother's friend, her son was like, oh, you're into anime? Come here. Brought me to his room, his gigantic pile of VHS, which, by the way, now I know most of it was hentai. Did not know that at the time. But I digress. What wasn't hentai
God, that's hilarious.
was Sailor Stars. And he gave me the first VHS of Sailor Stars, Japanese with fan subs. And he's like, hey, take this, borrow it, have it as long as you want, enjoy it. And I'm like, I have no idea what I have, but I recognize Sailor Moon, so we're going to go with it. And this is 1998. So this is literally just as the lost episodes of the Black Moon are airing on Cartoon Network. So I'm watching that and now the Japanese of Sailor Stars at the same exact time. So I'm 12 and I'm just like, who are all of you? I don't know who any of you are. I didn't even know Chibiusa yet because I think it was like the week after was when I finally was introduced to her on Cartoon Network. Yeah, I was just lost. But that first arc of Stars with Nehelenia, it was just, the pacing was great. There was no monster of the day. They were immediately transforming. The first episode was all Haruka and Michiru, and it was my first introduction to Haruka and Michiru, and I was just like, oh my God. I don't know what to do.
Gay.
I don't know what to do. What do I do? I went through.
You didn't know it was gay panic.
I was panicking. And mind you, that's a great point because I'm 12, 13 when I'm watching Stars. So my first introduction is the Japanese Haruka and Michiru and the Starlights. And Chad knows because we grew up together. I sat there watching Haruka and Michiru, watching the Starlights, and I just sat there. Am I a lesbian? I'm no, but I'm in love. I cannot tell my mother. What do I do? And that was my childhood. So I connected with them instantly because I grew up with them and I grew up seeing something that no one else was seeing because no one else had these fan subs. No. I had to scour the internet to find people on Grip Sailor Moon Forum, Sailor Moon Universe, and Live Journal and all these places to find people that knew what the hell I was talking about. And that really brought it home for me. And then what episode was it? I want to say it was like 176, like the fighter specific episode with like the performing and the nun from Ray's school and all that stuff. Fighter turns around. I'll never forget this. I'm 12. Fighter turns around. She's got like her eyelashes all like curled and everything. She says something to Mars and Moon. And I'm just like, oh my God, I would let her do things to me.
Oh, new God.
I'm 12 and I'm panicking, straight panicking. And that I have never not loved them ever since. And I'm not 12 anymore.
I won't. That's such a sweet story.
So they got me from day one. There was no hope. And now it's been like almost 30 years. So there's no hope for me.
I like Buddha's. Am I gay? Haruka be like, bitch, you might be.
Oh my God. Even with the little emoji.
I loaded water. I was also introduced to Stars before anybody else because when I lived in Florida, I lived next to Tate's Comics when it was a tiny little back store, like this tiny little hole in the wall closet of a store. And I went in there and I saw they had Sailor Moon and I was like, oh my God, Mom, they have Sailor Moon. And I said that out loud because they had the art books. Very expensive. Like they had stuff from Japan and it was like the art books and something else. And I was like, oh my God, you guys have Sailor Moon. They're like, yeah, we actually have VHSs you can rent because they had the VHSs with the fan subs because they would fan sub them.
Cool. It's still so good.
And they were like, yeah, they even said, they were like, yeah, we fan sub them in house. I was like, subtitles? They were like, yeah, because they're in Japanese. So you have to read the subtitles so you can actually understand what they're saying. And I was like, okay, it was not cheap, by the way, to rent these tapes because you only got to rent them for one night.
Oh, poo.
And it was like $3 a night for $3 to $5. So you have to realize this is what, 98, 99 when this is happening. That's a lot of money, guys. $3 for a VH, because you have to think we had Blockbuster and everything. But Blockbuster gave you like what, 3 days? 2 days, 3
Yeah.
days?
Depending on when the release was, yeah.
This was one night. So I actually started on the episodes that Nehelenia comes back.
Oh, so good.
'Cause that's the tape I picked up.
Mhm.
And so that's how I watched Stars. Was same thing, fan subbed VHSs, and I would have to beg my mother to take me and to spend this money so I could rent the VHSs. Now, did I not let my mother watch these VHSs with me? Abso-fucking-lutely, because I was so 12, 13, and I already knew I was gay by 9, okay? Because I was like, oh, that girl's very pretty. I don't think I'm supposed to think the girls are pretty. And so, yeah, I kissed my first girl at 9, so I was just like,
Aw.
we clearly were dating. But then my gay panic over those episodes, because they were so beautifully drawn compared to your first seasons of Sailor Moon. The drawing is what, like the art in those episodes are what made you gay, guys. They put it in the water and made the frogs gay. Okay. It was that art. It was that animation. Just solidified what I would say.
Like
Mhm.
that first arc with Nehelenia when she came back in Stars, that art was so pretty.
That's why Nehelenia is also my favorite villain. Because like I saw, I'm also, who pointed, was it, I think Ochiba. Oh, no, my friend D pointed it out. 'Cause she's also a magical girl VTuber. Because I was like, yeah, Nehelenia. And I was saying something. I was like, yeah, I do this because I'm vain. And then she said, that's why you love Nehelenia so much. I was like, listen here, you little kid.
Called out.
Oh man.
Like, I do not appreciate the slander that you just said in right stream. Okay. Maybe. Because I love you. Okay.
Like, how dare
I
you?
like to look good. I like to look cute. And I don't like looking my age. Because I don't. Thank God. But still, I didn't appreciate it.
Since we're talking about our gay awakenings, I feel like I should talk about mine, because
Go
mine,
ahead.
I was lost in the goddamn closet for 25 years. Like,
Mhm.
hardcore. But I was obsessed with Uranus and Neptune, and that should have been my first clue. And Mulan. Mulan should have been my first clue, honestly. I had a crush on Mulan since I didn't know what a crush was.
Ma'am, it's so beautiful.
She's really pretty. But
She got a real pretty mouth.
But I figured out what a lesbian was in college through the Golden Girls. Oh, you guys remember the episode Isn't It Romantic, where Dorothy's college friend comes in?
I love Golden Girls. This is great.
I know
I
we're
don't watch
completely
Golden Girls
derailing.
that much. Because I'm going to become them.
I just wanted to ask you a question.
What?
How would you react if you were told that one of your kids was gay?
Your brother Phil is gay? I knew it. When he was a kid, we couldn't keep him away from those gladiator movies.
Ma, Phil is not gay.
You mean you're gay? What, your friend Gina is having some sort of membership drive?
Ma.
Dorothy, I know you don't get many dates, but stick with what you know. At your age, it's very hard to break into something new. Good night.
Ma, I am not gay. I just wanted to get your reaction.
I'll tell you the truth, Dorothy. If one of my kids was gay, I wouldn't love him one bit less. I would wish him all the happiness in the world.
It's because you're the greatest mother in the world, and I love you.
Fine. Now keep your fat mouth shut so I can get some sleep.
Jean thinks she's in love with Rose. Ma, come on, it's not funny.
The hell it's not. Jean in love with little Miss Muffet. Come on.
What is going on?
Nothing.
Oh, come on now. I heard you laughing. What's so funny?
For starters, Jean is a lesbian.
What's funny about that?
You aren't surprised?
Of course not. I mean, I've never known any personally, but isn't Danny Thomas one?
Not Lebanese, Blanche. Lesbian.
Lesbian. Lesbian. Lesbian. But isn't that where one woman and another
We
wo-
already know what it means.
But Jean's a very attractive woman. She could have any man she wants.
She doesn't want them.
Well, why not? A man has so much more to offer, you know what I mean, Dorothy?
Yeah, I found that out when Mark Perper was running for class president in the 3rd grade.
Why, what does that have to do with anything?
Well, his campaign slogan was "Vote for me and I'll show you my wee-wee." He won by a landslide.
Well, I'll never understand what Jean doesn't see in the opposite sex, but hey, if that's what makes her happy, that's fine by me.
There's one other thing.
Jean thinks she's in love with Rose.
Rose? Jean has the hots for Rose? I don't believe it. I do not believe it.
I was pretty surprised myself.
Well, I'll bet. To think Jean would prefer Rose over me? That's ridiculous.
Blanche, please.
Now, you tell me the truth. If you had to pick between me and Rose, who would you pick? Who?
Blanche, pull yourself together.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Brilliant. And that's when I figured out a lesbian was, because I was like, oh, how it all clicks. Amazing. So that was my like coming out, and then basically I just got lost in the closet. Not really good directions on the way out.
Lines.
Yep, that's exactly it. And anyone who's seen the Golden Girls knows that line.
Lesbian. Lesbian.
People.
It's handled with such taste.
It really was. It was handled so well. And with Blanche's brother, too.
Oh yeah, with him being gay, that was so well done. Golden Girls, oof, that's another one I could talk forever on.
Trying to think, like, when I learned that, I think I learned lesbian being gay, I think more in high school.
See, I went to the most like stereotypical Wonder Bread white, like there was no differentiation. I didn't meet a single gay person till I was out of high school.
Disgusting.
Yeah,
So sorry.
So that explains my lost in the closet, because I didn't know there was other options.
I also lived in like South Florida.
I went to a private Catholic all-girls school. I learned very quickly.
Oh, never mind. You
You're
have the
fucking
advanced
twit.
course.
If you're fucking decent, French course.
The
Just
all-girls
boom.
was in the basement, and I would go downstairs to avoid class or avoid somebody, and I would go to this one part, and all of a sudden, okay, just put something underneath you. The floor is dusty. I learned very quickly.
Oh my God.
Some conservative young women. Yeah, conservative each other. Like, come on.
How can we derail into our childhood gayness?
That was my fault with Seiya. My bad.
Sailor Moon made everybody gay.
Did make
bad.
everybody gay.
Sailor Moon made everybody gay. Let's just.
And here's the funny thing. As the years have progressed and everything, I'm like, all right, cool. Trying to figure it all out. Sailor Moon totally messed me up. I didn't understand anything. Went to a private all-girls school, so I was very confused.
Yeah.
Through life and everything, I'm like, all right, cool. I am straight. However, if Seiya and Yaten were real people, I would leave my husband. Fine.
What did you got from the join? You're like,
Sidebar, he has told me he would cheat on me and leave me for, oh my God, I forget her name. She played Tuxedo Mask in the Super Live.
yes, they're in fucking valid. Okay,
Valid.
that is his past.
So valid.
He's not even fucking cheating.
He said this 1 hour after proposing, by the way, because we didn't work.
That is a you're in a jail free card right there. No, I completely understand. Bitch,
I'm not
honey,
even mad. Not even mad. So
Good
we
taste.
had those people.
you married someone with good taste.
Good
That's what-
taste.
I did. I'm not even mad about it. I would be like, can I watch? I'm not even mad.
Right? Like,
Yes, strictly. Not
great. Try it. Take the steering wheel and get us back on this episode.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
This
Show us.
A train is going to derail. Okay.
It's a very gay episode, so it's gonna derail. Like, it's just how it's gonna go. It just is.
It just is.
God, I love our show. All right. What? Oh, wow. So the next topic.
Wait, hold on. Sailor Moon is the free space on every millennial's gay bingo card.
100%.
I want to trademark that.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Put it on a t-shirt.
Get on the shirt.
Yes.
Oh my God. All right. So next topic we had up was ships. So this is going to be we only have 15 minutes till our break.
Okay.
So we have to be strategic about what ships we talk about and what ships we'll talk about after break.
Okay.
So why don't we talk about not Usagi and Seiya, because that's always a dissertation.
That could be a senior thesis on its own.
Literally.
It probably has been, to be honest.
I'm actually upset that I didn't do that for my senior thesis.
Right?
Shame on you.
I'm sorry.
How could you? Disappointed.
But why don't we talk about Taiki and Ami?
Okay.
I think that's a solid ship.
I do too. I'm here for it.
Ami sees past that forehead into the intelligence behind those.
She sees the forehead and goes, big brain.
Big brain forward. That's sexy.
I can't. I'm crying. I'm actually. So, but I genuinely, like, when I write my Starlights fanfics and everything, I always bring up Taiki and Ami because I'm just like, the episodes with the two of them, even after when the relationship got really messed up when they found out each other's identities, Ami is explaining to Taiki what's going on and why you need to trust Sailor Moon, why you need to work with us. We can work together. And Taiki actually listened. Taiki didn't even listen to Seiya and Yaten. No, Taiki's listening to Ami. And that just warms my cold, dark heart so much. And the episodes with Misa. Misa was a little girl in the hospital. Usagi asks Taiki for a favor because Yaten and Seiya just dipped. So Taiki goes and Taiki accepts and like listens and helps out with like little Misa. And Misa's the reason that Taiki went to the concert and still believed in the songs and everything. And just, I don't know. Amy opens up a something in Taiki that just no one else has the ability to do. And I think that I would love to just have the two of them just talk about science, about literature, about bunnies. I don't even care. I think if they didn't have the threat of the world about to implode and die in front of them so much, I really think they would have continued to be amazing friends and would have been competitive with their grades because they were. Ami was pissed when Taiki took over and
we've never seen Ami mad
I've
like
never
that.
seen Ami be pissed. She got pissed.
And then
I
they
felt
smash
bad
faces.
for her.
They're like, no, you beat my score. Oh my God.
That would be their weird kink is who got their score, who got the higher
Exactly.
I got the higher score today. Brilliant. Absolutely.
And then in your fan fiction, you put it that Taiki loses on purpose.
Dan, write that down.
And Ami finds out that Taiki did it on purpose. So she rocks Taiki's because she figures it out. Yeah. There you go. Now you have a them fanfic that you can make for Ami. Congratulations. I write RPs. So I've got this. When it comes to shipping, you want me to write shit for you? I got your fucking RP starter for you with 2,000 words, at least a novel size to start it. So let's go.
Yeah, but
Shit. But yes, I do enjoy them. They're intellectual. They test one another. And Ami is what, fan number 1 or something?
Yes.
5.
Thank you.
She
A
deserves
gold
it.
fan club card. She's number 25.
She deserves someone who's just as smart as her
Yes.
and
can
would
keep
and
up with
respect
her.
her smarts.
Yep. Keep up with her, challenge her, and be able to follow along in the conversations with her and add to it, not just, yes, sure, I know what you said.
But also, I think Taiki would be turned on when she goes medical talk.
Oh.
She would just be like, oh, God, just continue, woman.
It'd be like the babbling science that usually Usagi turns out of, but Taiki's, yes, this is everything I've ever
This
wanted.
is everything. Everyone else is asleep, but I need more. is perfect.
Or coming in saying Ami was robbed in the gaming tournament episode where they set her up for a power up and then no, we get goddamn general uterus. And then Era says, I like the idea of Ami being a shadow writer for Taiki because season 4 gave her the episode writing song lyrics. Hello, the ship writes itself.
That would be so cute. That would be so cute.
That would be so cute.
Because Taiki does write poetry a lot. Actually, in the episode, yes. In the episode where Iron Mouse dies, she calls the Three Lights apartment, which, what are your connections, woman? But anyway.
Seriously.
It's apartments. And Yaten picks up like a complete bitch. Like, Seiya's not here. Taiki's writing poetry. What do you want? I don't care. Hang on. And Taiki's flat out in the background writing poetry and says that they're writing poetry. And Yaten even confirms that. So I'm just like, oh my God, I love that. That is such a cute idea.
And that's what Ami deserves, to be honest.
She does. She deserves someone who is her match that will keep pushing her to be better and stronger and smarter and just always keep moving forward.
It doesn't just give her a dumb look being like, yeah, of course I know what you're talking about.
Or
Taiki's going to be involved in the conversation. Taiki would fucking study medical journals so that Taiki can have a fucking opinionated conversation with Ami. Okay?
absolutely. And Taiki did say that. Also, sidebar, why was Yaten wearing deadass a tablecloth in that episode, in that scene? It was like a white shirt that was like tied in a little knot in the corner of the shoulder. And I'm sorry,
It's
why are you
90s
wearing
fashion.
tablecloth?
Let it go. Don't think about it. It's 90s fashion.
It's
No
her, so
person
she can
break.
do it. Fashion, Gucci, Prada, she can do it.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
It's
there's
90s
still a
fashion. Jesus fucking Christ. Look at our fashion now, and I'm like, what are you gonna make out of whatever that is into clothing? How are you gonna interpret that into clothing? But okay.
So funny. All right. We have just a few minutes before break. So why don't you tell me about the ship of Taiki and Usagi? Because I have never heard that one before.
Are you serious? I can't even get a look of disgust and when my fucking VTuber, because I'm not rigged to do that. No, I'm leaving.
Alan,
I'm not doing.
funny story.
I'm not doing this.
Friend in the chat, that's Chandisms. Hi, Chan. She and I met on AOL role-playing chat rooms in 2000. And no, girl, you know that's a ship. You know it was. Because our friend did that. We had a group of, I don't even know how many people. And we had a messed up role play. By the way, we were all over the place. We were ages like 11, 12 to
As you should, Chan. As you
and
fucking
I
should.
personally, I don't ship Taiki Usagi. I think that's weird. But it happened in our role play. And they tried to, nope, you gotta remember. They tried to make it make sense. The angle they pulled, and I'll give them at least 1 point for this, and then that is it. I'll give them 1 point for it. The angle they pulled was that Taiki would help tutor Usagi in a way that Usagi would actually take it and listen and work with it, unlike her tutoring sessions with Ami. That was the angle they played. And I'll give them 1 out of 100 points for that. Just one. And that is it. Because it's a no for me, man.
That is like the funniest, wildest ship. No. Then again, all right, before we go to
Roast
break,
my mouth a little. No.
I'll tell you.
I feel bad for Taiki more than this Taiki. I'm like, you got to deal with that bitch. I don't think you're going to be able to. You know, I was like, barely handle Seiya. You think you can handle her? She's drinking the dumb bitch juice every day. You can't handle her. She may be smart in battle sometimes, but honey, don't. She's failing her hard.
She's failing all of them.
I am too. I did not do well in school. So I'm like, bitch, same.
Oh my God. No, and then the one ship that I want your reactions to, I think I've told Celine this one before, but there's a ship that one of my favorite fanfiction.net writers does that I cannot stand, but the author also does Haruka and Michiru, so I read those stories. But the author does
I'm terrified.
Seiya X Haruka.
Nah, man.
It's a hate ship. And I read a little bit of it because I was curious, because I was like, what the f- is this? And it was literally Haruka and Michiru had a fight and broke up. And then Seiya hit on Haruka and Haruka was like, you. And then he was like, me now. And then it was a hate
See,
ship.
that I don't hate that as much as Usagi and Taiki. I
hate that more than Usagi and Taiki.
but I would like to see Haruka. I want to see Haruka because Seiya would do it and be like, "Yes, ma'am. Thank you, sir." You're just mad because I'm right. You're just mad because you can see it in your fucking head and you're mad about it.
No, I'm mad because I see Michiru in the corner on a couch drinking wine with her legs crossed going,
But I need you to be like, "Do you want me to film this? I can take pictures."
What angle?
4K or HD?
Yep.
I'm crying again.
And then you'd be like, "That's a bad angle. You're doing it wrong. I need you to adjust."
So how? You're doing it.
Walks over, positions a leg, and says, Haruka's like, "Yeah, you right."
I'm crying, and I don't know if I'm okay or if I'm horrified. I'm not sure.
Hey everybody, and we're back for part 2 of the Sailor Starlight special. And usually I'd have a more creative name, but I don't know why I just love that name.
It's your order at Denny's. I just want to order the Sailor Starlight special tonight.
Can you imagine if Denny's collabed with Sailor Moon? That would be the
really game it.
rainbow pancakes.
Bro, I miss Denny's too. Like you said that, and I was like, bro, I miss having a good because there's always 2 Denny's within a 30-minute drive of your house. If you have Denny's, there's always the good Denny's and the one you don't talk about because it's awful.
Yep.
That's the circle of life.
That's the rule.
Every time. So we were talking about ships, and we all agree that Haruka and Seiya is a bad ship.
I took some time to process, and yes.
I remember reading the fan fiction and being like, this feels so wrong. Like, all of it feels wrong.
I've seen some fan fiction that I'm like, no, this can't be real. This has to be like clickbait. And then I've clicked on it, and then I read it, and I'm like, I regret the past 10 minutes.
Oh, that's how I feel.
So I'm curious
And
if
what you finished the fan fiction.
And yet I still finished it. Just to make sure I wasn't crazy.
That's
And
hilarious.
You're right.
No, that's a ship I know a lot of people like. Yaten and Minako. Yes. Because this ship is actually, I think, the cute ship. Minako wants one of them. That is her goal in life. Doesn't matter who, she will take any. And then
I don't hate her. They're both pretty. They'd make pretty kids
so
together.
pretty. Oh my God, can you imagine the parenting?
There'd be talent.
There'd be a lot of talent.
They can do
So-
too much makeup.
They would have great hair, great eyes, amazing talent.
It's not
I
a
mean, would
ship.
never wear the wrong lipstick
Ever.
ever. Yaten wouldn't allow it.
Yaten would do her makeup for her.
No, you're wrong. Let me show you how.
What
the-
the brown
what the green
worse
else is wrong.
anywhere.
If Yaten loves, but in a bitchy way.
It's like a bitchy kind of, you dumb bitch, hang on, kind of love.
Yes.
And that's what Minako needs.
I mean, not gonna need
'Cause
that.
she is a dumb bitch.
It's, for me, Healer and Venus are my favorite characters. So it's like Christmas for me when I think of that. Just because I love them both so much. But something that Minako, I think they need each other in different ways. Like, I think, like we just said, Minako needs somebody to be like, bitch, no, don't do that.
Yes.
She needs that. But in turn, it's like what we were discussing before with the Starlights have PTSD from what happened on Kinroku and they were so young and blah, blah, blah. It's implied, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's canon because they don't outright say it. But in, what is it, 193? 194. 194. Kakyuu flat out asks Seiya, is this the appearance you took on Earth? Talk to me about what's happening here. And Seiya says, oh, to find the only lady in the galaxy, we thought this was appropriate. So there were things that they all say that kind of make me feel like they don't know, that we all said, they don't know what it's like to have dual identities. It's Minako and Sailor Venus. It's Agi and Sailor Moon and Princess Serenity and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's Ami and Sailor Mercury, etc. The Starlights didn't have that. Kakyuu only refers to them by the Starlight names. They didn't, this is half opinion, half inferring. This isn't concrete, but they didn't have that ability to do that. And in 192, when Minako's trying to be an idol and she's in that competition that Yaten's judging, Yaten pulls her aside and is just like, are you serious right now? Bitch, please, what are you doing? You do not have time for this. Galaxia is literally, she's hello right there.
Yeah.
Right there. Do not hello. And Minako's, oh, Usagi knows. The girls know, they support me. They know this is a passion of mine, and they are completely okay with it. And Minako showcases that she's good at it. She's really good at it. And it takes that whole episode for Yaten to be like, wow, she really does shine. She really is amazing at this. I just can't comprehend how she can be Sailor Venus and Minako at the same time. Like, how do you have that and that hobby, that passion at the same, like, how do you do that? Yaten doesn't get it. And I think Minako is really just like, dude, you can absolutely do it. You can absolutely protect your princess and protect your planet and have your mission and do all of that. But if you want to sing and dance, you can do that too. Like, you don't, it's not an either or. Usagi doesn't make it an either or for us, which I love.
Yes.
And I think that's a really nice balance between them, that Yaten's able to keep Minako in line because somebody needs to do it. And Minako kind of lets Yaten be Yaten instead of always just, you have to be Sailor Star Healer 24/7, 365. I think it's a nice balance between the two.
Minako gets turned on because Yaten's a cunt. She's gas bitch. Tell them. She's dragging them, bitch. They would tell the best tea to one another.
Well, they would.
Oh, they would.
Because Yaten would come home and be like, and Minako would be like, hold on, grabs the coffee, grabs snacks, sits down, go.
I see that.
Tell them
I
everything.
love that. I love that. Live, laugh, love.
Yeah. They would support one another, and Minako would be like, they'd be like, yeah, Yaten's such a bitch. And Minako goes, yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know.
It would just be, yeah.
Hard eyes. All the hard eyes.
Great.
So good.
I think they really balance each other out so nicely. And it helps that they're both pretty and they have wonderful voices. And I would have set everything on fire for the two of them to sing something together. Oh my God.
Why didn't we get that?
That's like a big dream. I don't musical, anime, Cosmo. I don't even care. Doesn't matter to me. But I would love if it was like their original actresses, but I don't care. I'm not.
You're just like, please give it to me.
Give it to me. So yes, 100%, 10 out of 10, 500 stars, A+, 2 thumbs up.
And we all know Minako is all for it.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, but now you're making me picture them singing together, and I'm like,
because in the musicals, they dance together, like in Knocking Down Hesitation and La Soldier and stuff like that. But it just the two of them, like how we got Sei and Usagi doing I Miss You and stuff like that, which, anyway, I would have loved.
and then anything else you want to add, Celine, before we move on to the big ones?
They just make pretty babies together.
They would make extremely pretty babies. Imagine a blonde hair.
And their kids would be like little versions of them.
Don't tell
Like
that to not
Minako's hair, but Yaten's eyes.
Oh, blonde hair, green eyes.
And that little girl would know that she is the boss bitch. She'd be like, no, I'm going to tell my mommies, don't test me.
You're wrong.
I won. Mommy Yaten will crush you, bitch.
You just wait. You just wait till I get picked up. She's going to kill you. And I can't wait.
She'd be like, wait till my mother gets here. Because Yaten would be mother. Minako would be mommy.
Would be mom. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1,000.
Wait till my mother gets here.
Wait till mother gets here.
Mother.
And then just Yaten walks up, super walk, looking fantastic and fabulous.
With sunglasses.
And they realize who this kid's mom is fucking Yaten from the Starlights. And this little girl is the smuggest little shit ever. Like, she's got the shit-eating grin. She
Mother
turns
is
and
here.
looks at her mother. And
Say
goes,
that in front of mother. What did they? This is what they said to me.
she'd be like, mother, I need you to hear this. And Yaten would be like, looks at the little kid, be like, what the did you say? Minako is walking up. You can't talk to kids like that.
That's not best friend.
F is a 4-letter word. They should be learning 4-letter words by now.
Exactly.
They're going to learn eventually.
It's a
Learn
word.
that from me.
It's in the dictionary.
Oh, odd.
We saw it.
Now I love that fan fiction we have in our heads of them being picked up from school.
I'll write all your fan fiction. I won't write them. I'll give you the ideas for them and you can write them. I'm struggling to write my novels, okay? I'll give you all the ideas,
Valid.
though.
Valid. Oh, but let's talk about Seiya and Usagi, which, depending on what medium, is such a different interpretation.
It's very interesting to watch their relationship through the 90s anime, through the manga, through the different 90s musicals, through the 2000s musical, through through Cosmos. It's just slight similarities, differences throughout the entirety of it. But what I will say, I do think, and this kind of plays on what we were saying before about like you like connecting with them back then. I think if you start with the manga, or if you start with the manga, I don't think you're gonna appreciate it or like it or ship it at all, because it's
No.
such a blip.
Because
really-
Mamoru worships the ground Usagi walks on in the manga.
That's the other thing.
That's
and
the difference.
That's the difference. In the 90s anime, and this is, like you said, we could have a 7-hour conversation about what happened to the 90s anime to every single character. But in the 90s anime, they destroyed Mamoru's character. He is so much better than they made him. He is awesome. And for whatever reason, they're like, let's like take it down 17 notches and make him not. But
Let's put the freaking standards bar on the ground for him in the 90s anime when it was in the heavens for the manga.
yeah, which is crazy.
on the ground.
'Cause in every other form of Sailor Moon, manga, musicals, PGSM, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, Mamoru's fabulous. And I think that the bar was like on the ground. Seiya was able to leapfrog over it without any didn't even
He walked. He stepped on it, and this kept going.
It was fine. So that's why I think if you start with the 90s anime, it's so easy to love Seiya and Usagi, because there was no bar. It was nowhere. No one knows where it is. If you start with the manga, Seiya's involvement is really so minimal. And like Celine said, the bar is way, way higher. So it's not like anyone could hop over that to begin with. And then if you watch the musicals and everything, they're all taking from the manga, but adding a little bit more personality or taking personality away in some cases. So you can like it, but it's not the same as if you watch the 90s anime. Just because there's so much filler that really fills in Seiya's personality.
Yeah.
More than any of the other versions of Stars does, period.
I also hated Mamoru in the 90s anime. Manga Mamoru? That man can worship me any day of the fucking week.
Oh, right. Amazing.
Some standards for me. But 90s Mamoru? That gaslighting motherfucker. Okay. He can go live in a ditch. Because disgusting. The fact that they made him date Ray also.
That was awkward.
That was so awkward.
That
was so...
90s Mamoru is the absolute worst. I cannot stand him. And that's where the Seiya ship came from. Not the manga. It came from the 90s anime. Because again, the anime actually fleshed Seiya out. And people were like, Usagi, go for him. He's hot. And in the 90s anime, they're both genders. They were like, you get the best of both worlds, girly. Go for it. And they were like, because Seiya was made to be more like manga Mamoru. Because Seiya was basically worshiping the ground that Usagi walked on in the 90s anime.
Yeah.
Where Mamoru didn't do that.
At all.
No.
And it's funny because like I was saying before, I grew up with the Deke dub I grew up with Darien Shields. I didn't grow up with Mamoru Chiba.
Darien Shields.
I did. I grew up with Darien Shields. And so I went from Darien Shields to Seiya Ko. And I was just like,
wow, that's an upgrade.
I was like, I'm here for this. I support this. I'm all for it. That was such a difference. So like for people that watched Mamoru in the first 4 seasons, y'all had something I didn't. But again, the bar was on the floor with him because 90s Mamoru is not like any of his other counterparts, period. I think me watching the way I've watched and watching it on repeat because I have problems, I think because Mamoru was gone, Seiya filled a void for Usagi that Mamoru left. Because Usagi was going through it. Stars was crazy. Because you have all of these new Sailor Senshi, these other Sailor Senshi that, are they helping? I don't know if they're helping. I don't really know what's happening. But we have enemy Sailor Senshi who are turning people into thingies. I don't know what's happening. And apparently some girl in Galaxia is coming. She's going to kill me. That's great. I'm so excited. And all her friends are dying and all this crazy stuff is happening. And usually Mamoru's there, and her friends too, of course, but to support her and to help her and the power of miracle romance and all of that stuff. But he's not there. So there was this gaping hole in her life that she can't process and she can't proceed without him. In comes Seiya unknowingly, and that's the thing that a lot of people that when they talk smack about Seiya, I don't think they realize it. Seiya doesn't know Tuxedo Mask. We're just talking 90s anime. Doesn't know Tuxedo Mask. Doesn't know Endymion, past, present, future at all. Doesn't know about Silver Millennium, Crystal Tokyo. We died and came back to life. Doesn't know any of this. None of it. Just comes in and plops right in Mamoru's spot without even knowing.
Yep.
And the story Seiya gets is, oh, my boyfriend's overseas, but he hasn't been writing me. Oh, I miss him so much. He hasn't been writing me. He doesn't answer. So for Seiya, it's, yo, what the, like, your boyfriend clearly just ditched you and is cheating on you with a million women overseas. What the, but I'm here. So for Seiya, it's a no-brainer. Like, it doesn't make any sense why Usagi's won't let this person go when all of us viewers know what's going on to a point. If you were watching Stars for the first time and didn't know Mamoru died, because I didn't, that messed me up. But anyway. So we all know what's going on. Usagi obviously knows the situation and everything, but Seiya has no clue. But something Seiya doesn't realize either is that he filled in that position of Mamoru for Usagi. I don't think Usagi could have kept going through Stars without Seiya. And in turn, I don't think Seiya would have been able to get through Stars without Usagi. Yes, Seiya definitely kept getting conflicted between Kakyuu and Usagi because there was so many similarities. Princess and the light and the shining, you shine so brightly and blah, blah, blah. All of those sayings and things that kept coming up. But without even realizing it, they were supporting each other in ways that they didn't realize they needed because Kakyuu and Mamoru were gone. I'm so glad you brought up the rooftop in the rain. I was waiting.
I was going to say, yeah, Ura's going it. Let's talk about it.
Damika, am I not good enough? So many people, and I understand, because Seiya, like we said before, is not the brightest crayon in the box. Is not the sharpest tool in the shed. Seiya did not realize that, hey, maybe saying that right now probably wasn't the best time. Probably was a shit time to say that. But I think the reason Seiya didn't realize that is that throughout the season, as everything's happening, as everything's going on, and Kakyu's finally here, but you still miss your boyfriend, you're crying over your boyfriend, I don't understand, and all of this is happening, and you've really been here for me, and you've really been supporting me, and now my princess is here. Seiya has now fallen head over heels in love with Usagi, and yet Usagi's on the rooftop sobbing over Mamoru, which didn't help that motherfucker threw a rose, not realizing that was Tuxedo Mask's thing, but anyway, great job. So I think that, yes, Usagi's clearly having her moment, her panic attack, her breakdown. But I think at that exact moment, so was Seiya. Because moments earlier, Seiya was in a phone booth trying to call Usagi, crying, saying, what is wrong with me? What is happening to me? What is going on with me right now? I'm supposed to be focusing on my princess and she wants me to find the light of hope. I don't know what the light of hope is. I don't know where to find it. And Galaxia is basically here and the enemy knows our identities and what am I supposed to do? And yet I'm in love with this girl and she won't pick up the phone and now I'm in a phone booth crying in the rain. Love that. Yeah. So for me, and going back to our conversation about Taiki and Yaten before with all the PTSD and everything they've gone through, Usagi was a distraction from all of that. Usagi was somebody that could help Seiya just be Seiya instead of Sailor Starfighter. Seiya was able to just be a person, be somebody that's playing football, be somebody that's playing basketball, be the really popular cool guy with the sunglasses, get on stage and show everyone, like, this is what you paid money for. Yeah, look at me. And Seiya was able to go into that role so much easier than Taiki and Yaten was. And I think that's part of who Seiya is, but I think that's also part of Usagi helped him do that. I don't think Seiya would have been able to do any of that without Usagi as that backbone for him. I think without Usagi, yes, he's still arrogant. Yes, he's still cocky. Yes, he's still, yeah, I'm Seiya. But I think
Me too,
when you
bitch.
get to that level, I don't think it would have been to that level if not for Usagi. And unfortunately, that made him fall in love with her to that point. Yeah.
Keep
going.
Taiki and Yaten express it more outwardly. Seiya is the kind of PTSD that has buried it and is not acknowledging it, just like Usagi buries the fact that Mamoru died in the manga.
Hasn't shared a word that Mamoru is not answering her calls to anyone. No one knew until the end of 194/beginning of 195 when they're all talking about it.
The only person who knew was Seiya. because she didn't want to say anything. I'm like, ma'am,
Please say something. Please
say something
alone.
about
You have friends.
please talk to them. I care. I'm here for you.
They really do, though.
So for me, I ship them, but I do also feel, and this is just me going on my own little tangent in my own little world, I think they're always going to be the one that got away from each other. Always. I don't see them being anything more than a high school, one that got away romance kind of thing. I don't see them, obviously, I don't see Seiya replacing Mamoru. I don't see Seiya and Crystal Tokyo. I don't see any of that. I can't. As much as I love them, I think that they're that kind of friendship they're more than friendship, but they're not lovers. It's always that what if that is there that never, that the book never gets opened on that story. For
Yeah.
them. That's what I personally think for them. And I will sit here and write all the angst and all the pain and do all the Seiya Usagi cosplay photo shoots, because I've done like 6 of them, because I just feel so strongly about the bond and the connection that they have. It was so strong that only for the second time in the entire series did Usagi scream at Haruka, Setsuna, and Michiru. The only other time was during S when they're trying to kill Hotaru. She never does that ever again. And granted, we're not in series because, again, Toei Animation. But anyway, she screams at them to back off of her relationship with Seiya. Why does everyone have to stick their nose in it? Back off.
Yeah.
I think that their friendship is more than friendship, but not lovers and friends. I think it's in between. And I think they need each other. I think they were support that they needed and weren't getting from their friends, even though their friends were right there. But still,
Main character syndrome.
photos, and I was like, I did one of those shoots.
you did.
I'm going to play off what you said. For some people can't see a future. I do, and I've shown the art here before. Her name's, was it Yokai Yume? She's an artist, and she did fan art. She did a lot of fan art of Seiya and Usagi. And she had a little headcanon that in Crystal Tokyo, like when she's established everything's fine again, and when Chibiusa is growing up and shit, that basically her and Mamoru look at each other and they're like, we're going to do this forever. So they're polyamorous, essentially. And so Mamoru gets Pluto.
Which I
Yeah.
ship.
I do ship.
I love that, actually.
I think she deserves happiness.
She does. Agreed.
Because look at the outers, they're in a poly. They would support Pluto so hard.
So
They'd
much.
be like, get it,
So well.
fucking get it, girl. But she had where Usagi gets with Seiya. It actually splits her time between Earth and she like designed outfits for them, like the style of dress and stuff. But she has children with Seiya, and they're really cute. And like she drew pictures of grown up Chibiusa, like being like the big sister to these kids. And it was really cute. But it was like it was like they looked at each other and they were like, we're immortal. We can't, like, I love you.
However,
But the thing is, Usagi and Mamoru still had a relationship. They were still king and queen of Earth, but they were polyamorous. And I thought that was really good. But it was in the future. Like, everything's done. Chibiusa isn't going back anymore to help anything. So I really liked that version. Like them revisiting it when they were older and more mature and able to make an adult decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the way I see them. I shipped them during Stars because Mamoru was shit. Mamoru was an asshole and I couldn't stand him. And I was like, Chibiusa still needs to be born. Damn it. Because bad things will happen if the timeline doesn't flow the way it's supposed to. But then I found her art and her story and I was like, that makes perfect sense. Yes.
Funny. I found, and I forget if it was fanfiction.net or AO3, I found a fanfic kind of like that, but it went down a poly path with the 3 of them, and I wasn't ready for that because there were scenes that I wasn't ready for, and I'm still not. But I was like, it's what you said, but more. And I read that 2 years ago. I still haven't finished processing it.
That's funny. I get know those fics.
Like, I have like that spinning wheel is still right here. I still can't.
They were like, this is their boyfriend, that's their girlfriend, but we're still married. They didn't.
That was basically it. It was just graphic. I was ready for it to be graphic. Oh my gosh. Let's talk about a bit about the personality of Seiya, because Seiya's personality is basically falling for Usagi, which I think plays into a lot of what you said, Rizuki, of going through it. As much as we love to bash on Seiya, is going through it.
Yes. And Celine said, I don't think Seiya doesn't express any of it. Seiya's just like, I'm going to internalize and I'm going to distract myself. I'm going to distract myself through the music, through the concerts, through the fans, through Usagi, through the school, through all of these side things that we're doing. I'm going to distract myself through everything.
Yes.
And then have a freak out later and it'll be great.
And that's why Yaten and Taiki were so fucking pissed at him all the time.
All the time. I think that going back, that's one of the many reasons why Taiki and Yaten were over it. But it's weird because in the 90s anime is what we just described. Seiya just takes everything in, does not express any kind of sadness, any kind of emotion, any kind of anything. No one has a clue what's going on. I don't even know if Seiya fully understands what's going on. But then you have the manga where you don't even get much insight at all to what's in any of their heads. And all you really get is that, oh, Mamoru just turned into dust. They catch her. They run out of the airport full with fans and everything. And they slowly, without telling her that they're giving her all of these tarot cards like about death and what's happening, they're slowly trying to tell her what's happening, slowly trying to get her to wake up, realize what's happening. You know what's coming. You don't get much more information. Seiya and Fighter, I feel like, are very much one and the same in the manga. The only difference being that there was like a blip of a love between Seiya and Usagi, but it was just a blip. It was nothing like the 90s anime whatsoever.
And I think it's because she reminded him of the princess.
Exactly.
That's it.
And that's made that blip grow a little bit, but then that's it. That's all you get.
Yeah.
If there's more to it, you got to make it up yourself and have a headcanon for the manga. That is it. That's all you get. The musicals are so weird because for the way they interact, the way their personalities are, is so different per musical.
Would you like to go into that a bit and break it down for us? Because I know you're a big musical fan.
Oh my God. My favorite are from 1997, Ien Densetsu, the final first stage. The full thing's on YouTube. I highly recommend everyone watches it. It was their final stage for Anza, the Sailor Moon, the Starlights, I think Mercury, Mars, Uranus, I think, and Saturn. It was the last stage play for so many of the cast. Many of them were graduating after that one. And the whole thing is mostly ad-libbed. It is amazing. I highly recommend. But that's my favorite. And then the 2017 Le Mouvement Finale is my other favorite. I feel like that fixes a lot of the empty, Nako, why did you give us nothing? Yes, Queen, give us up. I feel like it really filled in some of those blanks. But the first musical that the Starlights were in was 96, 97 Sailor Stars. And that and Ien Densetsu, Taiki and Yaten don't call her, they call her leader. They don't say Seiya's name. And Seiya's serious. We have a mission. We have something to do. There was no football playing. There was no joking. There was no, oh, meet me after school by the tree. Yeah, it'll be great. I'm a cool guy. There's none of this whatsoever. Seiya will give them commands, will tell them things to do. And then the two of them are just lackadaisical and they're just running around being so silly and playing off of puns and just being adorable. And if you don't like Taiki, Haiki, watch Ien Densetsu, especially the final first stage. Hikari Ono's Taiki, you will love Taiki. Taiki's amazing in the musicals. Holy crap. She's got a personality and she smiles and she messes with Setsuna so much. It is amazing.
Because that's another pairing I've heard is Taiki x Setsuna.
I've seen so much of that and I don't know why. Like even
the musicals.
Probably because of most likely because of musicals. I won't spoil it because I want people to watch it. But there was this scene on the rooftop and Taiki's just letting it's like the manga with Yaten and Michiru, but instead it's Setsuna and Taiki. And Setsuna gets pissed. Like she wants to beat the crap out of Taiki. It's It's so good. And Taiki's just like, goodbye. I am
Oh
Taiki.
my god.
It is so
Taiki.
good. It's so good. But it's such a 180 to see Seiya that way. They still would turn around and be like, Orango or something. And it's great. And if you watch the performance of I Miss You, it's so serious because it's a triple situation. The song is about Usagi to Mamoru, I miss you. Seiya to Kakyuu, I miss you. But there's like a slightly hinted implied blip of to each other also. More so from Seiya's side than Usagi's, of course. But it's just, oh my God, it's so good. And that's like the emotion. That's as far as the emotion you get from Seiya. Things like that with Usagi or Kakyuu when she comes back or when she dies. And it's just Seiya's very serious in those 90s musicals. She's always yelling at Taiki and Yaten, and it's so weird to me. I still love her, but it's so weird to me. In the 2017 musical Le Mouvement Final, she relaxes a lot more. She's a lot more playful and a lot more silly. She still is telling Taiki and Yaten things, but she's not being called leader. Yeah, it's so weird after all this time. And their personalities are more like the manga in Le Mouvement Final. It really is like the manga was turned into a live action, but with a lot of plot holes and like missing parts filled in. So if you like the manga, you would love Le Mouvement Final. If you want something completely different that's just, hey, this wasn't stars from the anime or the manga at all. What is this? I don't know, but it's great. Watch the 90s music.
I think a lot of people saw Le Mouvement Finale whenever it came over to the US and was in movie theaters.
Yes. And it was in theaters, and that I think is also on YouTube. I think. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's on YouTube. And if you Google Live Movement Finale Sailor Moon, a Facebook link with the entire 3 hours with subtitles does come up.
Oh, wonderful.
So you can watch all of this online. If you need links, I got you. Le Mouvement Finale is so good. And it made me love the manga, but in the form of that musical, because the manga pisses me off. But that musical, the songs are so good. The character interactions are so good. The personalities are much better. And you get more emotion and feeling from the three of them, not just Seiya. Like Taiki and Yaten are not forgot. Which is great. Yes. Absolutely. The musicals are so good, and it gives a different side of them. Granted, they're not in Le Mouvement Finale, it's really just like the manga, so they're not like main characters. In the 90s, they're not main characters either, but they have a much larger role than they do in Le Mouvement Finale.
That's true. Because the Le Mouvement Finale, it's the manga. It puts the metal.
It's like the manga extended a little bit, if you will.
Yes.
So if you like 90s anime Seiya, you're not going to like the musicals Seiya. You're not. You might appreciate, but you're not going to like the musical Seiya because it's somebody totally different. But if you don't like music, if you don't like 90s anime or manga Taiki, you will love musical Taiki. And Yaten is just perfect in every version. It doesn't matter.
Have to be biased or anything.
Not at all. Not biased whatsoever. No, but for real though, like Puppies. If you've watched the 90s musical Yaten and the Puppies, that's all I'm going to say without. You want to. We thank that many have 만드는 that way again anymore. 소가. 나는 아니요. 난 소가는 하자. Yes. 소가 set 모양. What? 난 기다린다. It comes after this. Sit. Oh, it's this day. Ah, here. You would have happened. Okay. It's not here. Who knew that?
It was
forced that. What have happened already?
He doesn't watch that. He's getting early, so I'll pause it to your bird.
What's the difference? Don't start a hand on a leader. Leader, no more bristle.
All they flown him.
Yeah, he never said free thanks.
That's sad.
That's so sad.
But it's funny. It says it's the final first stage, but it's not. Because in the actual final first stage, Yaten gives birth to the puppies before all of that happened. What? Puppy plushies that she pulls out of her shirt And then Taiki goes, "Oh my God, she gave birth," and says, "That's great, congratulations." Anyway,
Oh my God. What is that?
But what was Meat Eater's wig in that?
1997 wig.
Yeah, it sure was. That color was awful.
You should see Anza's Sailor Moon wig in the 90s Sailor Moon. Not good.
That color, like I saw it, I was like, ew. Why does she look like she has algae in her head? Disgusting.
She was called seaweed hair by Naoko.
They were wigs. Indeed.
Gross.
But yeah, I'll try and find the clip and put it somewhere because it's from the actual final first stage, like the final show. I think maybe it was Kaiserban. Maybe that's why that's not in that clip. It's right in the beginning of it when the puppies come out. But it's the same thing you just saw, just with puppies.
That's so funny. And then Taiki and Yaten were nothing like the 90s anime or the manga.
Not whatsoever. It's almost like they like changed roles completely. The three of them.
No, literally, because they were acting like such little idiots. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Like the two of them are such sidekick besties. Like their friendship is like so strong in those musicals. Because it's like, how can we make Seiya's life a living hell? Every day forever.
Instead, it's the opposite in the anime. He says, I'm going to make your life a living hell.
Boy, bitch. That's what he is.
All right, let's talk about the difference in the endings and how vastly different they all are.
Yes.
The manga's not even the same as Cosmos.
No, which, thank God. Spoiler in case somebody in the chat, somebody watching has not watched Cosmos, just heads up, because some things are different from the manga, so just, you were warned. Anyway, so in the manga, the Starlights, Chibi Chibi, and Sailor Moon go to Sagittarius Zero Star to go fight Galaxia. They all go on a little kayaky boat thing on the River Leith, and then it fills up. They all go underwater, and the Starlights never wake up. And then they basically get burned alive. And it's like blue fire, they describe it, and they burn alive and they turn into ashes in front of Sailor Moon, Chibi, and Kakyuu. And then those starseeds obviously go to Galaxia and they die. That did not happen in Cosmos. And I am ever so happy because I was not ready to watch that animated.
Yeah.
I wanted that, and I didn't have to see that. So I'm so pleased. But what's interesting is in Cosmos, you could tell they took so many nods from the 90s anime, because even their transformation, like when the little, like the star brooches like appear on the screen and everything, it's the same exact sound from when they're announcing themselves in the 90s anime individually. It's the same, which I love. But their final battle, in Cosmos, they wake up. They don't stay unconscious after the River Leith. They wake up. And they decide they're going to fight, they're going to help, and they want to this is before Kakyuu transforms, they want to help protect Usagi and the princess. So they fight, and the fight scene is it's like a TLDR version of the fight scene in 199 of the 90s anime.
Yeah.
So with the color, each have like the colors, like the blue, purple, and green. And they all have like their fight sequences. They announce their attacks and everything. It's very similar to the 90s anime, just manga styled and much shorter. And it's great because they know they're going to die, which that's not great. But it's great because they turn around and you get these beautiful side profiles of the three of them right before their attacks get broken through and their Sailor crystals are taken. And it sucks, but they're not on fire, turning into ashes and completely melting in front of me. So it's a beautiful thing. And I love that they had a last stand that was so reminiscent of the 90s anime. I love that they had a moment to really shine and showcase what they can do. But that's completely different from the manga, completely different from the 90s anime, and completely different from each musical too. Because each musical was just like, how do we without fans? Every few one of them. Different fans.
I love that. Oh my God.
Go ahead.
Era had a question for you. What in Cosmos wasn't much shorter?
What in Cosmos wasn't much shorter?
I'm assuming that was to you.
Maybe
their death wasn't short.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Because their death wasn't okay. They'll find goodbye. Like, they actually got fight scene. They actually got to use their attacks, and they actually got to fight, and they got to talk to Sailor Moon. And then that's when their Sailor Crystals were taken. It wasn't that much longer, but it wasn't, okay, they're on fire, goodbye, either.
Yeah, because a lot of stars is, okay, you're on fire, bye.
Basically. It's like, okay, you're done, bye.
Dust by.
Okay, bye.
Like, you were in a panel, okay, you're done.
Basically. Let's see, compared to the 90s anime. The 90s anime, they had a couple different fight scenes with Galaxia. They did in 196. They did 197, 198 was with Haruka and Michiru, so that is different. 199, they had a whole fight scene before Galaxia rocks the world and fucks them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Seiya almost gets impaled. Fighter almost gets impaled with a sword until Sailor Moon jumps in the way. 0.3 seconds before her silver crystal gets shattered to a zillion pieces. But anyway, it was this whole stretched out thing that spanned the majority of 199. But in Cosmos, it was maybe 4 or 5 minutes, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
Well, the manga was like 3 panels.
Yeah.
And I didn't take it that way at all. I just wasn't sure what you meant. So I hope that asked the question.
And I'm sorry, or I'm always just worried that I think you're asking something.
One thing I want to add to that is if you do watch the musicals, the 2017 one is it's just a Cosmos, actually. They do fight. It's the same thing. There's no fire or anything. They do fight her. They do attack her. It works and then it doesn't, and then they lose their Sailor Crystals. It's basically the same as Cosmos, which is cool. But if you watch this original Sailor Stars musical, there's a lot of time skipping. There's like a lot of time teleportation. Sailor Moon R, for some reason. Yeah. Like when Galaxia or the Animamates would attack, from what I can recall, there would just be time skips. Well, they would be taken to a different point of time or a different year or a different whatever, to the point that when the Starlights come back from one of these time skips, they tell Sailor Moon, oh, don't worry, we checked on Neo Queen Serenity. She's fine. We just came back from the future. They don't explain anymore what the Starlight were actually in Crystal Tokyo. And of course, they don't elaborate any further whatsoever.
Oh my God. Seiya is somehow responsible for them being in Crystal
totally
Tokyo.
believe that. And I'm so mad because all I've wanted is for somebody to just sit them down, especially Seiya, and be like, let me explain to you the past 1,000 years of these girls' lives, starting in the Silver Millennium. And apparently they go to Crystal Tokyo in the 1996 Sailor Stars musical.
That's
And
just
that's all they say.
wild. Like, they don't say anything else. They just,
Bro, the fucking musicals are wild. Let me tell
They
you.
are.
They just
They
make
are.
up these Sailor Scouts and just Queen
There's a
Helena
lot of
working with
good
King Barrel,
characters.
working with Galaxy.
working with a vampire.
Yeah.
Well, I love the Barrel Galaxia thing. That was a twist I did not expect. It's so good. It wouldn't work in the anime, but the way they in the musicals,
It was great. And I'm trying to think anything else about the endings we want to talk about.
So there is another difference. It's still in the Cosmos. It's still in the manga, but it's not in the 90s anime. So the 90s anime, the difference with the endings is the Starlights go back home and say goodbye.
you don't get that.
You don't get that in the manga. They die
And
and the stars go back to their regular homes, but after they die, we don't see them again.
Yeah. Pretty dark.
Different. The 90s anime,
but
love
not
them.
dead. Yeah.
And then in the manga and Cosmos, it was like, bye, bitches. We don't see you ever again. We don't hear from you. And that's also where in the 90s anime, you have Seiya being like, and then Usagi's like, yeah, we can be friends. And everybody's like,
Yeah.
Oh,
my
never
lord.
get
sorry.
you.
You
Never
don't
friends
understand.
ever.
Yeah, everybody
That's
was like,
different in the musicals too. Some of them, it's the same thing. It's just, oh, the Sailor Crystals all go back. It's implied, but some of them, they're actually there for the entire fight. So they actually do get like a moment where you know that they're alive and they go home, that you can actually physically see it in some of the musicals. And then in some of them, it's just, it sucks to suck. They're alive. Maybe, I don't know, bye. Yeah. So that's a trend throughout.
but yeah, that was a difference I wanted to pop out there. That yeah, when they die, all that's implied is when the stars are heading back from the galaxy cauldron, that they will all be returned to their original places.
Yep. And that's,
So you have to
all.
assume that the Starlights made it back with
Yeah.
Kakyuu. That's it.
Yeah. That's all.
There's no
That's all you get.
confirmation about it because the ending is Usagi getting married.
Yep.
To Mamoru, and the scouts are there. That's it. There's no confirmation. They don't talk to any of the other scouts. Nothing. And I'm
Nothing.
like,
That always
I understand you wanted to end it, Naoko, but goddamn.
That always bothered me. The one thing that Cosmos did fix was they actually gave her a scene where she goes back home and she talks to her family.
Yes.
To give the closure that her family is there. Because that bothered the crap. See, right there, that bothered the crap out of me in the manga. It's just like, okay, yes, you have your friends. You have your lover. You have a mother, a father, and a brother. Hello.
I got a little emotional during that scene.
I did.
was
I
like-
cried. I cried during that scene because I just was so happy to at least have one of those like pet peeves I had answered after all this time. Oh, you remember you have a family. But I always found it weird that, yes, obviously your friends are going to be there. Obviously Mama was going to be there at your wedding. But I would have loved to have seen her parents and Shingo, Naru, Umino. It would have just been really nice to have that really well-rounded closure.
Yeah. Like you see, because it's not like they're the only ones going to be at the wedding.
Yeah. You're not going to have 10 people at your wedding when you know so many people that mean so much to you. Going, no.
Oh my God, what if they didn't let him at the wedding because they were afraid Seiya would object? Yaten and
Any of the other scouts, like anyone. There's no indication that they might be communicating with the rest of the universe. And I'm just like,
Nothing. Which I call bullshit on that, because if they have three cats that have the ability to work a computer and like go through and be able to talk about stuff and see asteroids and things that are happening to the Earth, they can high key talk to other planets and other people and keep in contact with Kakyuu and all of them. Absolutely.
You would think.
exactly.
Agreed.
I just want to know what happened to the other planets. Does that mean the ones where the Animamates stole the roles of these Sailor Scouts, are they back?
Yeah.
Are the planets just restarted?
Yeah.
So
They
they don't-
restarted.
right?
Did they go back to dust? Earth was
Yeah.
put back together. Did they all get put back together? Great question.
Yeah, it just bothers me because you don't know what happens. They're like, they're going to be put back. I was like, okay, but in what condition?
Tell me more. Give me more.
What happened to their planets? Are their planets healed? Because Galaxia fucking raised those bitches.
Yeah. They're not there anymore.
Yeah, either the planet is gone or there's nothing on the planet. It is barren.
Yeah.
So
I'm grateful for conversations like these and fanfics and stuff to be able to have those like points like wrapped up at least in headcanon. But to know that officially, I would love that.
it's just like with Harry Potter fan fiction, where the fan fiction is better than the actual world.
I believe it. I've never been into Harry Potter, but I fully believe it.
Fan fiction. The fan fiction is phenomenal what people have done and just built on that. So Sailor Moon's the same thing. They build on the world that's there and they're like, okay, I'm going to actually fix this fucking loophole. I'm trying to think about what other ones there's a couple other fandoms that I've read where they just fill in that stuff where they're like, they left this. Or they built, like I said, they build on the world.
Comment that just came up that was really good. J.R. Rodri in 1911 said, I would assume since their star seeds are tied to their planets, so I would believe they are reborn, the planets are reborn.
I hope so.
I hope so.
Hope so. But I would have loved the confirmation. And since you mentioned Star Wars, like when they remastered it and you actually see like Naboo and all the planets like celebrating and healed and everything at the end of episode 6, like I would have loved a little moment like that at the
Couple manga panels where you see like the planets awakening or something.
Yeah. It
Like
didn't even have to be all of it.
they and stuff awakening on their planet, like Sailor Mao waking back up on her
Almost and
planet.
Daniels.
Yeah.
I would have loved that. Like just a little, like it could have been like a 60-second just moment, like how Star Wars did it, just to let us know, hey, we know you probably assume, but here's so you can sleep soundly and know. I would have loved that. Basically, now go laugh it out yourselves. I'm done.
Yeah. Well, I'm done. I got a husband to take care of.
She rides off in her Ferrari. Let's talk about a fun theory. What would your theories be on how the Starlights would meet each other on planet Komoku? Do you think they were assigned? Do you think it's like Sailor Moon where magical random animal came out and said, "You are the Starlight."
Okay, first off, I love that. I never thought about that. I love that.
Yeah, maybe it's a songbird. You are the one.
In the episode where Seiya's explaining their past and everything. No, that's a lie. It's not that one. It's 194. It's 194. Seiya's singing to Kakyuu because Kakyuu asks, "Would you sing your song to me?" And Seiya's like, "Yeah." And there's like a scene where it cuts off and it shows their planet Kimnoku in the middle, and then 3 tiny moons around it, representing their colors when they're transformed. One red, one blue. Their colors. Anyway,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to represent them. And then it like zooms in, and then you get this scene where the 4 of them, and it's like this lush, like grass, flower filled planet. And Healer and Maker just, yeah. And then Kakyuu and Fighter are holding hands and like looking at each other. And that's when Seiya's like vision flips and it turns into Usagi. But based on that moment, I feel like Kimnoku was always like the main planet. And I think those 3, I don't know who they were born to or how that all worked. I think they were the senshi of each of the moons of Kimnoku. And because of that, they were brought to Kimnoku. Hi, just like how Usagi with the 4 inners, like, hi, here's your princess. Her name's Kakyuu. Here you go. So y'all are like 6. It's gonna be great. Meet each other, love each other, have fun, go get donuts. And then, yeah, that's like the light, basic version of it. But I think it was something like that. Just based off like one image that we had for 3 seconds on screen.
I'm trying to remember where it was mentioned, and it was the Sailor Scouts were chosen, like the power, like it was passed down.
Yeah, through the crystal.
So I feel like because it was only like inferred for that. I think with where the inners and where Usagi's crew is, that galaxy, I think that this is just my little brain bug. Because they died and they were reborn, their starseed hasn't passed on. So like a new scout wasn't born, like it didn't pass on into a new person. Because I don't remember if it was the manga where it said that the scout was chosen to become the scout. So in my head, I feel like it passed down when the scout died.
Okay.
Like the power, that title of scout. But in Usagi's crew, it doesn't because they were reincarnated. They're the same person. And then they become immortal. So how's it ever going to pass down?
Good question.
No, but it could have been even for their planets that, I don't know. It could have been like they were passed down into the princesses or something. Unless when fucking when Queen Serenity showed up, that's when everything activated and woke up in that area. But like I said, I feel like it's in something if someone finds it cool. But I remember it was like the scouts are chosen. I think it was Galaxia who said she was chosen for it.
But don't they have to be born, like all of them, don't they have to be born with the Sailor Crystal to be a Sailor Senshi?
Galaxia says hers, she like activates as fucking Galaxia.
I don't recall that, but Galaxia
It was during her
backstory.
In which one?
In her backstory.
Which backstory?
No, where the men are killing her.
Yeah.
In the manga? Oh, manga cosmos.
I know, it's so hard to differentiate.
Yeah, one
of 4.
But yeah, for some reason that's tickling my brainstem that they were chosen as the Senshi. Because maybe it's the Animamates who were like, I should have been chosen for it.
Oh yeah, because I think it was Leg Crow. Or no, it was one of the really bitter ones. I think it might have been Tinyanko.
She didn't deserve it or something.
Yeah, because
Like she shouldn't have been chosen for it.
Something like that.
They can be born with it, but they're like the born chosen one, like after the one dies, a new one's born kind of thing with it.
Oh, like Avatar?
Yeah.
Okay.
As the scouts dying, the new one's being born. It's Ledcrow going ham on Phobos and Deimos as well as Tinyaka going off on Lunar. Okay. Basically, okay. Yes, they were mad that person was chosen, that they didn't deserve it.
Okay, now we're all set.
Okay.
I remember this being said.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I know someone will tag in.
So yeah, maybe that's how they were chosen. So like because the princess would be able to tell who they are when they're born.
Oh yeah.
And then they're like brought into the castle. And here you go.
Dun, dun, dun.
You go, be friends. You don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice. You're friends now.
I hope you don't
work
hate each
together.
other for the next however long you live.
Because the other planets, they're not immortal.
No.
That's why the Silver Millennium, Earth was jealous because they were immortal.
Yeah.
Great nerds.
Yeah. And then that's a good segue into their relationship, the Starlight's relationship with Kakyuu, which is very interesting because we don't see much of her, but the parts we do get are really interesting to me because they're not really the same relationship in all the different mediums. The 90s anime didn't really flesh her out much. I think, if anything, it kept her in the dark a bit compared to the manga and the Cosmos.
Agreed. She didn't get much. I mean, she didn't even get her transformation in the 90s anime. Like, she didn't get any. She got the very end of 193. She got 194, and then she made it to the end of 195 and died.
Yes.
That was
I'm wondering if, because the manga and the anime were going on at the same time, I'm wondering if the reason why she didn't get a transformation is because they killed her in the anime before the transformation was
That's
written.
very possible. Because if I remember correctly, the anime ended February 8th, 96, and then the manga ended in March of that same year. So that's most likely why she never got anything and why Cosmos wasn't fleshed out, because they beat them manga to the punch before they could get there, which sucks. But
They even said that it was the reason why they're so drastically different with certain things is because it was being written at the same time. So they were like, we're making it up now.
we're gonna make it up. It's gonna be great if it matches. If it doesn't,
Yeah. And that's why I feel like that's why she didn't transform, which kind of sucks because I'm like, if she's the princess of the planet, she's a Sailor Scout.
yeah, like it's implied. If she's the princess of the planet, the one that apparently could heal people and everything, she's clearly gonna be a senshi. But
Like I said, I feel like maybe they killed her before the episode.
oh yeah,
And they had already drawn the episode and they're like, we've already killed her. Oops.
like she's dead now. Oh, but they look, no matter which form, they look to her, they revere her, they like honor her. They take their mission to protect her so seriously in every single form, even if the relationships sometimes aren't really explained or very vague. That's still the same. They still bow to her no matter what. Musical, anime, cosmos, manga, 90s anime, whatever. They bow to her. They talk to her like princess, or we'll help you, we'll protect you, whatever. Like, it's that like hierarchy is always there regardless, but you don't get too much of it in the 90s anime because of the reasons we just discussed. You get snippets of it in the musicals. Like, they have beautiful songs together. There's this one song that Kakyu's singing opera to them.
Oh.
It's stunning. It's called Princess Kakyuu to the Three Lights. It's absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. The three of them sing to her while she's singing to them opera. It is absolutely gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
Oh my God. And it's the same. They're bowing to her. They're talking to her. They're just so in awe of her and so respectful of her. But, and this is me being who I am as a person, I love playing with the idea of Fighter and Kakyuu together. Because, hear me out. In the manga / Cosmos, they mention that they say it in a sentence and then as if they never said it. They just, whatever, in the past. Oh, no, Kakyu's lover also was killed by Galaxia. Oh, that sucks. Anyway, we could die at any time. It's really not even, it's just not out there. It's whatever.
No, it's like I don't even remember it. It's so.
Oh, I said that? I don't recall saying that. They say nothing. We don't know. Was it also somebody from the same planet? Was it a prince? Was it another princess? Was it anything? Anything? Nothing.
Right?
We get nothing. Never mentioned in the 90s anime, and I do not recall it being mentioned in the musicals, but I don't remember. So if I'm wrong, please tell me, because I don't remember. But going back to that clip in episode 194 when Seiya's singing to Kakyuu, Maker and Healer are there, but Kakyu's holding Fighter's hand. And they're looking at each other with this look that's, yes, it's, oh my gosh, that's like my princess. It's, oh yes, my guardian, yay. But I'm like, I look at it like, is there something forbidden happening here? Because I'm here for it. I support it. but nothing's ever implied. This is me just skipping down my little shippy path into the sunset. I love the idea of that being like an unrequited, unknown, secret, forbidden romance that Maker and Healer probably know about, and they're just, sweet baby Jesus. Yeah, it's just not.
Maybe they're just like, nope, not.
Is it, no, I don't want.
I'm 75% blind in this eye, 49% blind in the other eye, and I saw nothing.
I saw nothing. I heard nothing. I know nothing. Go cry by yourself. I don't want to know this ever even happened. This dialogue never occurred. Oh my God. That's how I like to look at it. That's a problem I have with myself. If you want to join me down that ship that's sinking in the
I love that.
But yeah, there's not much there to play with, but they definitely like, they look to her at such high esteem. Like, she's got the answers. She knows what we'll need. Oh, she wants to work with Sailor Moon? Shit. That sucks, but if she wants to, I don't really want to, but I get her.
Yeah, because she's very much like the one who calls all the shots for the Starlights.
Yes. No matter what version,
It's always her.
absolutely. She is 1000% their Princess Serenity.
Oh, 100%.
A little
1,000%.
bit more militant than Princess Serenity.
Yeah. Oh, I would say a lot more, but yes.
She's a frequency matter.
I feel like Kakyuu is much more disconnected than Usagi is with her scouts. Because like I said, she feels much more militant, much more like, I'm the princess, you're the scouts. Like, she loves them, but she holds them at an arm's length at the same time.
Yeah.
She actually does, now that you mention
does.
it.
And I think a part of that has to go back to what we were saying before. They don't have human personas. They're not just regular Kakyuu, Seiya, and Taiki. They're always Princess Kakyuu, Sailor Star Fighter, Sailor Star Healer, Sailor Star Maker. They're not Usagi, Ami, Rei, Makoto, Minako, and Moon, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Venus. It's just, this is us. 24. I think that's plays into that.
No, and I've read a fabulous fan fiction, can't remember the name of it, of course, right now, but about how the scouts were and how they were discovered as they were in the beginnings of Crystal Tokyo. And it was really interesting because they were saying like how their names started to disappear and they became Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, and they became the scouts to everybody around them except for Lusagi, where they would use their names in just with each other.
It's true. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's just an interesting. I'm like, damn it, I just want a little more, just a little more. And give us an OVA, one OVA.
I wish. I dream.
Yeah,
And give her Sailor V's series, and I guess I'll call it a day.
honestly, give
I
Sailor V
love
her
that.
moment.
And she's got the manga already. You don't have to make anything up.
No, just speaking into it, and then Ura coming in saying, but Cosmos definitely makes it seem like Kakyuu and Starlights are much closer than they are in other versions.
Yeah. That arm's length isn't there as pronounced in Cosmos as it is in the manga, which is another light change that they made, or even in the 90s anime. Because in the 90s anime, she's yelling at them and she's quiet. Listen to what I'm saying. We need to find the light of hope. And she's much more, I feel like she's got to be around their age, maybe a year older.
Maybe, yeah.
They're way more similar. There's not this kind of vague, unknown gap and arm's length distance that there is in basically every other version. I definitely agree with that.
Ura coming in saying, I actually love how Cosmos made both Kakyuu and Galaxy seem significantly closer in age to Usagi to really cement in their similarities and differences.
That's a fabulous point. Because then they're not so different. They are, but they're not so different at the same time. They're still 16, 17, 18-ish in their ballpark.
Yeah, and it's as much as I love the deep voice Galaxia who says, wow, it's the meeting of the biggest losers in the galaxy. That's one of my favorite all-time musical lines. But as much as I love that, I do agree that having a younger Galaxia with an almost Usagi-like voice is creepier.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Remember, that's what I pointed out during our big
I was trying to remember it was you or Monica, and I was like,
rare, because people are like, I don't like it. I was like, okay, hear me out. Hear me out. I was like, she's fucking creepier because she's got this almost peppy. It's not super peppy, but she has almost like that childlike innocence kind of voice. And what is scary in scary movies? When you have those innocent kids but they're murderers at the same time. Those are the scary
Those are
bitches.
scary. Yeah. In the 2017 musical, the actress for Galaxia, when she's singing Galaxia's Ambition, I believe it's called, she's got this eyeliner on and her eyes are just wide open. And I'm just like, she's going to come at me in the dark and just slit my throat. She terrifies me. Holy shit. But Cosmos Galaxia freaks me out in a different way because first off, I love Megumi Hayashibara so much. But, and just, okay, so wait, you're not that different in terms of just age-wise, whatever-wise. You and Usagi are on the same playing field. And that makes me nervous.
Because in the 90s anime, they made her much more adult.
Yeah,
She's not an adult. And I understand like, people can't get over her voice. They're like, no, it's not the 90s. I was like, I understand that. Galaxia is the same age as Usagi. If not like maybe 2 years older. She might be the same age as like the Outers.
Yeah.
They're only like 16, 17, my guys. He's supposed to be in college or she's a freaking nurse at the school.
Mm-hmm.
Michiru and Haruka go to high school with them.
Yeah.
We just see as the same age. And that's what makes it creepier. With the voice that they chose the right voice. Because they chose the voice that matches the age that Galaxia actually is.
Yes.
Galaxia is maybe 17, 18 at most. But her and Usagi are the same age pretty much. If anything. If that's the youngest she goes, she's Usagi's age. Because she's very youthful. And she's not drawn as mature as she's drawn in the 90s anime. Because in the 90s anime, she's drawn much more mature. And she has a much more older woman's voice.
Yeah.
But in Cosmos, we get to see her manga version, which is youthful, like she's supposed to be. And then she's just creepiest because of it. Because you're like, this is a fucking teenager who is wrecking your day, guys.
And it's totally cool if you don't like the voice. Like, we all have preferences. Like, that's the cool part about Sailor Moon is that you get a million different options.
Absolutely. It's great because it sucks because on one hand, all we had was the 90s anime for so long. All we had for so long. So for so many people, myself included, that's the expectation. That's the bar. And it's very high, at least for me. It was. So when I now have to listen to, okay, let me hear Venus's new voice. Let me hear Neptune's new voice. Let me hear blah, blah, blah's new voice. It's no matter what, whether you wanted to or not, whether you meant to or not, you're constantly just comparing it to the 90s anime, even though you can't because, like we said, Galaxia was older in the 90s and she's Usagi's age in Cosmos and other changes and things like that. But like for myself, I enjoyed Cosmos. I really liked Cosmos. I liked the changes Cosmos made from the manga because manga pissed me off. But I way prefer the 90s anime Starlight's voices to Cosmos's. I just way much prefer them. I feel like Yaten's is too deep. It's great, but I feel like it's too deep. I feel like Taiki's is higher and I feel like that should switch. I don't know. I just prefer the 90s anime voices for them. But we all have our choices, which is cool.
God, they didn't change Usagi because I would have fucking rioted.
I don't think any of us could have even done it. I don't think we could have ever heard anyone else.
I'm just happy that she loves her Usagi role so much. Just like Goku's voice.
Yeah.
And Luffy's voice for One Piece. The dedication that the Japanese voice actors have, they will not let go. I'm just so happy that she wasn't like, no, I think I'm done. She was like, tap me on coach. I got this. Bring a whole series again.
One more time.
Absolutely.
I just they paid her well. I'll be like, bitch, that is Usagi's iconic voice. You better have paid her.
Yeah.
What that woman deserves. That's why with the English ones, with them always trading voice actresses, I'm not gonna lie, I like the deep dub voice, the original for Sailor Moon. That's the one I grew up with. But I also like, I think it was the lady after her who did it. But that's also mine.
And to that comment that just came up there, that's my malfunction because every single voice that Seiya has, I'm just like, no, you're not. And she, honey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You can try.
Get out.
Try. But you can't. Can you scream the way she did in 195? I submit that you cannot. So that's sweet.
Just the emotion that like some of them could reach. You're like, that's what got me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I had a Instagram live stream back when Viz first dubbed Stars, which I'm so glad they did because I could actually get an official Stars subbed version instead of fan subs and bootlegs that I have. I have so many versions of Stars, it's probably a problem, but it's fine. I digress. The first thing I did was in my live stream, I was like, guys, we're doing a thing. You already know what I'm doing. I put on episode 195. I went directly to the fight scene after the concert and I played it in English and I was sad, but I wasn't like sad, like, oh my God, sad. I was just like, no. And then I immediately flipped to the Japanese and I was just like, yes, scream in pain. I'm so happy.
I feel like they hold back sometimes in the English game.
You go more. Like you can do it, but why don't you? And
It's only recently though, because if you look at the original dubs for
They were
Sailor
so
Moon,
good. I liked Terry Hawks a lot. She's my favorite English dub voice actress of Sailor Moon. Her and the original Tracy, whatever her last name was.
yes,
And that's who I like for
those are
Sailor
my
Moon.
favorite.
I don't like the one from S. She's a sweetheart, a wonderful person, Linda Ballantyne. Super sweet, really nice person. I just don't like her for Usagi.
I didn't mind whoever did Super S.
That was
Super-
also Linda.
it was also Linda.
she matured then.
She did better than
in
S.
Super.
Yes.
Tracy Moore, that was her last name.
Thank you, Era.
Linda matured then when she got into Supers. So
No, I would have loved to have seen what Linda could have done with Stars.
I would be very interested in that. I feel like they all of them, Linda included, they all had so much more range and like emotion and like feeling than I feel like they have in the current dub. Not to say anyone that likes the dub, if you like the dub, I'm happy for you. I feel like no one emotes. Like when they're all talking, even the Starlights, when they're talking, I'm like, I can't tell who's talking. I actually have to look and see who's talking. Meanwhile, in the Deke dub or in the Japanese, you know who's talking. I don't have to look. And that's not the case with every dub. The Yu Yu Hakusho dub is top tier, one of my favorites.
So good.
So good.
okay.
I'll watch a Yu Yu Hakusho dubbed or subbed. I don't care. It's good. I know who's talking. I don't have to look. I know who it is. Yeah, I know what they're feeling. I know what they're going through. And I'm not feeling that from this. But granted, I will also say I've only really analyzed the Stars one because that's my favorite. So that's the one that I have to the highest bar. So that's the one I'm going to be like, no, I need to know if you died the same way. I need to know. Oh, you didn't. Okay, bye.
You're like disappointed.
Disappointed.
No, and by far, and here's the thing, a lot of it is direction because we don't know what the producers are saying. We don't know what the directors are saying.
What's going on back there? Yeah.
No, because did you see that, who was it, Christina V, who voices Sailor Mars, and Terry Hawks did TikTok together?
I did not.
Oh my God, it's the cutest thing. I'll send it to you afterwards.
Wait.
But it was like talking about how like loving Sailor Moon as a kid and then like growing up and then it's that like Hilary Duff, everything's Technicolor. And then it's like with Terry Hawks. I know, and I love to see the old dub cast and the new dub interact. I love that.
I love that. Oh, yeah, definitely send that to me. I have not seen that, and that's so exciting.
It's so cute. It made me give hope because I'm not a huge fan of the divide between the two, and I would love it more if it was more love and peace and
yeah.
like I want everybody to support each other.
Yes, agreed.
But everybody can have their preference. I think that is valid.
Agreed.
All right. And then last thing we want to talk about besides the songs, because I know you have a little more to say on the songs, it's about that hilarious towel scene. Celine, do you remember the towel scene when Usagi's supposed to be home alone and then Seiya shows up?
Yeah.
Just your answer.
Did I salivate over a half-naked Sam? Maybe. You weren't there to watch me. You can judge me. I'll fight.
I just want to know, you're in a house where there's two adults, a teenage girl, and a tween boy, and then a tiny... There's clearly multiple towels in this house. The house is big enough that I'm sure they have plenty of guest towels in there.
Oi, なんか着るもん貸してくれよ。T シャツもパンツもケーキでぐちゃぐちゃでさ。これよせやめろって。
My space alien in Christ. Why did you decide, yes, this will cover everything? This is perfect. This is great. This is great success. Make it make sense, Seiya. Make it make sense. You just wanted to go out there and show off. Listen, I'm aware of the situation of who I actually am and everything. I'm very aware. Behold me, no matter what. No,
He just runs out there in that little tiny hand-sized towel.
no shame.
No shame.
Unless that was the only towel in the bathroom.
That's when you prop open the door. Hey, Odango, there's no towels here. Whatever shall I do?
Even that sounds like a bad prop.
It was fan service. They knew what they were doing.
They knew exactly.
That's
too funny.
That doesn't mean his bottom half was male.
Could have just been the chest.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
And that's a question that, granted, again, that was an animation studio decision, not a Naoko Takeuchi decision. But I really wanted to be just like, hey, so explain. So you're letting us know that they have the ability to, they have powers to change. Tell us more about that. Explain it more. Just a little. Just a little. Just even a pinch. Just a sentence. Explain. Just
No.
explain the mindset.
No. Nothing.
You get
Nothing.
You figure it out on your own. Enjoy your headcanons.
There you go.
Nothing like
You
it.
get both genders. Shut up and just
Shut
take
up. Enjoy it. You will anyway.
Ta-da.
I can't. That towel scene will make me laugh for the rest of time.
And then Chippy tried to take away the towel. I'm like,
No, oh boy. How dare you take this from me?
I know. And then he looks embarrassed. And I'm like, Seiya,
Oh.
you should have been embarrassed a long time before this.
15 minutes ago, you should have been embarrassed. Chippy doing the Lord's work.
Chibi knew. Kibi's Cosmos and Cosmos remembered.
Oh my God. That's right. And I'll be being like, Usagi, you're in.
Oh my God.
I can't.
That's true. I forgot Ami did that. And I'm like, not be detrimental about her and Darian. Oh,
Okay.
okay.
But they're all perverted. Minako with her adult film. And then in the episode where Iron Mouse dies, when Seiya takes Usagi to the club and then takes her to like the back room, like to get her something to eat, it's just reaching for the phone and Usagi's like, oh, he's trying to touch me. Oh, I know something we can do. It's going to be so much fun. You're going to love it. He's going to try to have sex with me. No, he wants to dance, you dumbass. I can't.
All of let him cook.
His clothing literally screams for help.
Yeah, that's something I didn't write down. Seiya just gets, this is not an opinion, this is fact. Seiya dresses in the dark.
Yes. 100%. Especially like that musical episode where he has like the leotard.
I want you to know.
However, even if he dresses in the dark, he's going to see that fucking highlighter yellow. That's like a beam of light. He knew what he was doing. And he didn't.
I just want you to know the last cosplay I bought right before it shut down was that Jazzercise outfit.
Oh my God.
I have never put it on because I'm just like, I'm not doing this without the other two. I absolutely refuse to put this on without the other two. I will not do it.
You almost have to have the other two because the outfit is so ridiculous.
It's just, I put it on like right around, like it was March 2020, like right before shutdown happened. And I'm looking in the mirror and I'm just like, I'm upset that I bought this. I'm upset that I put this together and it's on my body.
I love my
Meanwhile,
much.
you were so proud. So behold me. I can't.
I know. Oh my God, the orange creamsicle suit.
That was a choice.
And what was the outfit where he had like green pants and a pink top and a red
And then
jacket?
that orange and green zip jacket.
That's it. Oh my God.
Again, dressing in the dark. Dressing in the dark.
Then he's supposed to be a popular idol.
Did you look at the 90s clothing? Go look at the year that anime was coming out, the year that episode aired, and you'll find that outfit.
Probably.
I remember what my mom used to dress me in.
Oh, that's
The
funny.
back of it probably said Tommy Hilfiger or something.
Probably. I guarantee it.
All right. Rizuki, do you have anything else you want to go over about the Starlights? I'm going to open the floor to you.
The one thing I want to mention, and I know when we were putting our outline together, we talked about it lightly, is so I've been in the fandom for far too long. I don't even want to put a year to it. I'll get upset. Not going to do it. But something that I've seen since me getting online in 98, 99, and I still see it to this day, whether it's in the fan fiction circles, the role play circles, the cosplay circles, or just the fandom circles overall, is that people just get really rude when it comes to the Starlights. They're just, whether it's just talking about them at all, or how dare you like them, or how dare you use X gender about them, or how dare you do this gender about them, or how dare you like them, or Seiya's a nice guy, Seiya tried to whatever. And it's just like, first off, let's let people like things. People are allowed to like the Starlights. If you don't like them, that's okay. That's totally fine. Like we said, we were saying that we don't like 90s Mamoru. If you do, that's fine. Totally good. Everyone has a valid preference. Completely fine.
This means you like red flags. It's fine.
But don't poo on somebody that likes the Starlights because they like the Starlights and you don't. That is just bizarre to me. And I've been seeing it for almost 30 years. And it still happens. And it's bizarre. And it's just like, you guys know we're talking about an anime where a girl has a talking cat coming to her in the window to make her transform and save the world because she died in the past, because she killed herself with a big-ass sword, because her lover from the earth when she is from the moon. And do you realize how dumb you sound when this is what we're talking about? Disney to hate on anybody for who you like. We don't shame here. But on that same note, because I see this happen a lot too in cosplay circles, which is weird. It doesn't matter what gender you are. You can and cosplay and roleplay and draw and whatever the Starlights. It is completely fine. I don't even know why that's something that has to be said. For whatever reason, Toei Animation opened the door to, all right, they're going to be boys and then they're going to be girls. Have fun. We're not going to explain it. Just have fun. Have a great time with that. Yeah. Figure it out later. We're not going to explain anything to you. Bye. And yes, Naoko Takeuchi made them women. They're supposed to be women. Yes. But Toei Animation opened the door to allow all of us to have all of these headcanons and to be able to identify ourselves, whether through sexuality, through gender, through identity, through anything. We were all able to see them as symbols, as representation that just did not and should not have existed in 1996. And the fact that in 2024, we can still look at them as a source of a headcanon, or as an, hey, they actually helped me realize my identity, or they helped me realize my sexuality. That's not a bad thing. Let people have that. Let people be able to utilize that. The animation is there. There's so many episodes where the towel, Seiya's clearly shirtless. Seiya's clearly got a male chest. If this person wants to look at Seiya and say they're non-binary, let them. If this person wants to be like, nah, Seiya's a straight lesbian, let them. There was no canon here for any of them, because people get so weird about Usagi too. No, Usagi is straight. Usagi is so straight. She's in a straight relationship. Who hurt you?
Ma'am is at least bisexual.
Well, you're so missed about that. Did you not see her with Haruka and Seiya? And she's said.
Have you seen the Be Honest art with her and the Scouts? Like,
not with holding her whole ass tit. Yes.
Whole ass titty in her hand.
Grab. It's just, I don't know why people get so weird when it comes to gender and identity and sexuality when it comes to Sailor Moon. Have you watched?
Oh my God, I got into an argument because I said Haruka was gender fluid. And I was like, and someone was like, no. And I was like, Neptune literally says that she's both genders.
The sentence comes out of her mouth.
I was like, it's literally in the manga that she represents both genders because of the planet that she is.
Yeah.
It's like, she's gender. That's gender fluid.
That's just it right there.
It's the full female pronouns.
I just wanted to say that because when it comes to the Starlights, I've been seeing it for years in every single avenue that I've been on with the Starlights, and seeing it with cosplayers. I'm just like, okay, let's stop. You should have stopped before, but just full stop. Mm-hmm. Let people like things. It doesn't matter what gender the cosplayer is, or the artist is, or the role player is, and it doesn't matter what their headcanon is or what they want to do. Just shut up and let people like things. Like in the chat, Jay in the chat, Jay Rodrigue 1911. Hi, by the way. Cosplays Tuxedo Mask and is an Austin Tuxedo Mask cosplayer we met at Anime NYC. Awesome. What he's saying about being a guy into Sailor Moon, my husband gets that too. Yeah. My husband, he's cosplayed Kunzite, he's cosplayed Kaito Ace, and which is great for me as a Venus cosplayer. I'm just like, yes, I win. Yeah. Great success. But it's just let people like things. I have no idea why people think they have to be the Sailor Moon gatekeeping police. It is so bizarre to me. Like, when I talk about the Starlights, I normally use she, her pronouns, unless I'm talking about specific episodes of the 90s where they were very clearly male.
Yeah.
And other people do their things. Like, they use whatever pronouns they want to, or they use whatever. And it's just let them. It's 2024. Just let them. I don't know. It's just, I get so heated in Starlight conversations, and people like come at me and come at other Starlight cosplayers and role players and blah, blah, blah to this day. Yeah. And I don't get it. I'll never get it. So I just wanted to throw that out there as a fool.
I actually refer to them male pronouns unless I'm talking about their scout forms because of the 90s anime. But here's a little brainworm for you on why that happened. I guarantee you, Naoko drew it, and they were like, "Oh, those are men," and they had already started doing it. And she's like, "Those are women."
Probably.
Oh, that would make so much sense.
Because a lot of the art books, like they were very like flat, and they were very like you remember the 90s suits, those like huge size 90s suits. That's what they were wearing. And because the manga was not keeping up with the anime was going much more fast paced. There was probably a communication error there. And then by the time they were like, "Oh, they're women."
Or maybe, because maybe you never know. Maybe Naoko was like, "Oh shit, no, the only people who can be scouts are women," because they define that later on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's in Stars that gets defined.
Yes.
That only women can be Sailor Scouts. And I was like, okay. Tuxedo Mask isn't, but he's got Sailor Scout powers. But anyways, but maybe that's what happened. Just a little brain work, maybe that's what happened, and that's why we got them going from male to female, because there was a disconnect. The manga wasn't done, and they had already started doing things. And she was like, "They're women when they have the suits on," and they're like,
"Oh no." That's very possible. Things to think about.
You know, he
does have a transformation.
He does have a transformation. You are right. He does have a transformation where he sticks his arm out and a little cap appears, and then he is transformed. And it's one of my favorite transformations.
You are? He is Tuxedo Mask. I don't believe it.
I think his little hat just popping on his head.
A lot of, from the people that are like anti-stars, anti-starlights, anti-Usagi being anything but straight, one of the things that they say all the time, and I'll end here, I swear. One of the things that they say a lot is, "Oh, Usagi is straight because Seiya's a guy." And then they'll proceed to like provide like all of this proof from the anime. "Oh, Mamoru is like the only one for it." And it's not even making any sense as I'm saying this out loud, but that's what comes up all the time, which is very confusing. And to me, I'm just like, why does the potential of Usagi being bisexual or pansexual or any of that bother you so much?
Internalized homophobia.
Yes, fine. Mamoru wasn't theirs. There was no male person in the 90s anime until the Starlights showed up, when they weren't supposed to be, but they are, so here they are. So now you've got Usagi and Seiya as a heterosexual relationship, when viewers that have been watching know it's actually, it's just the most bizarre conversation. And I don't think it needs to be a conversation. Just let people like what they like and stop hating on people for liking things that you don't. It's just very weird. And that internalized homophobia, or just homophobia running rampant. And if you're watching Sailor Moon and you're homophobic, I've got news for you.
I was like, "You in the closet? You're really far in that closet. You're in Narnia at this point. I'm gonna need you to step through the coats and look at yourself."
And yeah, that's it right there, my sweet summer child. That whole yeah.
Which one?
Oh, what's the Goofy Witch just said? Yeah.
Loki coming in. Those people's opinions are giving there are two genders because there's only X and Y chromosome because biology. My sweet summer child, please.
Please. It drives me wild that, okay, fine. If you're saying that in 98, fine. There's not a lot of education out there. The internet is brand new. fine. I'll give you that, maybe. In 2024, you're still saying that?
No.
No. Absolutely not. There's no time and space, period, for that. So point blank, period. Shut the fuck up. And I just wanted to throw that out there because that's been bothering me for the 26 years that I've known about the Starlights.
No, and I'm glad you did because that's actually a really important part of the Starlights, and I'm glad you talked about. All right, let's bring us out.
Yeah, I do this. It's my turn.
Yes.
And this brings us to the end of our show. Thank you for joining us for the 11th episode of Season 3. We'll be going on our next Moony adventure on December 7th with special guest Lunar Lynn. And our special focus is going to be on Sailor V, who we were talking about earlier. So it's going to be a Sailor V episode. We'd like to thank our returning special guest tonight, Rizuki. Please go ahead and plug yourself.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Hi.
I wasn't expecting that.
On the spot, go.
Okay. Anyway, hi. So I'm Rizuki. If you don't know me, I appreciate you guys having me once again. It is an honor always. I love watching Eternal Mooncast. So thank you very much for having me. I am on Instagram as Rizuki, just spelled out like that. Rizuki, that's it. Also on Threads as Rizuki and on Facebook as Rizuki Cosplay. I just cry about the Starlights a lot. I have a lot of feelings about them. I probably should be stopped. But if you want more, then you can go to my social media and I have more. Really, Michi saw my dissertation.
It was so good. I was so happy and I kept going and I was like, yes, this is what I want.
So yes, if you love the Starlights, I love you too.
Remember, Moonies, to follow us on all of our socials. All of those are in the links are in our link tree in the description. Previously recorded Eternal Mooncast content is available on YouTube. Don't forget to turn on your notifications. I'm looking at you. Have you turned them on? Did you turn them on? You haven't turned them on. Don't disappoint me. Don't. You don't want to disappoint me. Bishojo Senshi Slumber Party, they are currently in the Tree of Doom arc. So you need to go watch that because that arc is wild and it was all made up by the studio. Okay?
All of it.
And you can find the reactions on our Patreon for free. But if you want it a week early, make sure you subscribe. Our next discussion episode will be coming out on November 23rd. Thank you for joining us tonight, my friends. I am your co-host, Helene, and you can find me on all my socials as Azira_witch. I stream on the weekends. I'm trying to expand a little bit more. And I'm going to be your next favorite magical girl VTuber here on Twitch.
All right. And as always, let me set this up for myself before I start talking. All right. As always, I'll be your host, Michi. You can find my personal socials at MEW21, some_cosplay. I'm going to be restarting my K-pop reactions on the K-pop Voyage channel. And this time I'll be doing them solo for a little bit while Ray takes some rest. So be sure to check that out if you're a fan or want to discover more K-pop with me. We appreciate any likes, comments, follows, or however you'd like to try to support our show in your own way. We do read all the comments on YouTube. As a quick reminder, these are just our personal opinions and we celebrate all respectful Moony opinions here. We're working hard on the show to be a place for Moonies to come together and discuss their love and theories and passion for Sailor Moon. Remember, as the Sailor Star Maker once said, yes, they still live within your heart and will only truly be gone when you decide to give up hope for good. Good night.